Feliz lunes a todos ustedes, muy feliz mañana, bienvenidos al Casino del Tío Salo y por supuesto, me desperté así, qué delicia. Güey, eso de ponerte cebolla en la cabeza, vaya que funciona para tu pelo. Y después me he estado poniendo café en el shampoo. Uf, uf, está gruesa la cosa, está buena, me gusta. Me gusta. Ahora tengo que ir a cortarme el pelo ya por fin para darle forma a esto, pero ya tenemos pelo otra vez. Así que estamos bien, estamos contentos. Es lunes, damas y caballeros. Fin de semana bastante callado en todo, a menos de que sea Sydney Sweeney, que todo el mundo, pues, obviamente tiene que perseguir a esta super nazi por ser güera y tener tetotas sin algotas. Pero fuera de eso, no, en realidad no ha pasado nada. El día de hoy lo que quería platicar con ustedes rapidísimo es simplemente decirles esto. Tenemos que analizar una posibilidad enfrente de todos nosotros de algo económicamente hablando pasando, ¿ok? Y más allá de económicamente hablando, financieramente hablando, podemos estar, y esto es solamente un escenario para todos ustedes, y ahora probablemente muchos dirán, no, si el tío Salo lo dice, es probablemente lo contrario. Bien, jueguenla, jueguenla. Lo que yo creo es que el viernes hicimos un video que se llamaba "Este es el tope del mercado", por lo que habíamos visto. Y les dije, no, los pacos te estaban tirando, todo el mercado tenía que volver a rebotar, etcétera. Pero les tengo que decir algo que yo ya traía desde hace un rato, que es tal vez vimos a cripto tocar tope con ese Bitcoin de $123,000. Solamente quiero poner esto enfrente de todos ustedes en este momento. Si llegó a ser ese el tope de Bitcoin y estamos viendo ahora al mercado, la bolsa de valor recuperarse, esta va a ser la trampa igualita, sería idéntica, nada más con diferentes fechas a lo que pasó en el 2021, 2017 y todo fin de estos ciclos de cripto. Y la otra cosa que tenemos que tomar en cuenta es, esto pasa cada 4 años. Y adivinen en qué año estamos después de 2021, 22, 23, 24, 25. Y ahora todo el mundo está diciendo, cripto es muy diferente antes, Alejandro. Bitcoin es muy diferente antes. Ahora tenemos institucionales y todo eso. Perfecto. Está bien, está bien. Pero ustedes son las mismas personas que están diciendo esto, pero también están esperando all season. Es solamente, o sea, el ciclo de 4 años funciona con los alts, pero no funciona con Bitcoin. Solamente quiero que tengan esto en mente, ¿ok? Si vimos a Bitcoin topar en los $123,000, si es que, no estoy asegurándoles ni nada, ya saben que quiero que simplemente puedan analizar todo, que tengan todas las perspectivas posibles para poder tomar las mejores decisiones posibles para ustedes y hacer dinero para adelante. Lo que deberíamos ver, una vez más, si es que fue el tope de Bitcoin, es nuestra bolsa de valores hacer más altos históricos por 40 días después de haber tocado ese tope. Y eso pondría el tope del mercado de la bolsa de valores por ahí de la primera semana de septiembre. Es una posibilidad bastante real que se podría dar. Simplemente lo quiero poner ahí para que no nos agarren todos con los pantalones abajo. Y también la otra cosa que quiero comentar es, por más que se esté alentando la economía y todo esto, y ahora esto no es para cambiar nada de lo que les he dicho, solamente quiero darle una actualización de cómo lo estoy viendo. Por más que se esté alentando la economía y que veamos que todo esto está mal, y ahora la razón por la que la bolsa el viernes bajó fue por los malos reportes de empleos, ¿no? Pero al mismo tiempo son malos reportes de empleo. Todo el mundo pensaría que, pues, güey, eso es bueno porque van a subir los tipos, si van a subir los intereses, entonces, digo, si van a bajar los intereses, discúlpenme, si van a bajar los intereses, eso es muy bueno, eso va a crear aún más inflación y va a hacer que todo lo que yo compré en la bolsa, mi Fartcoin, Bitcoin, Choincoin, Chuncoin, Putcoin, todos esos coins vayan a subir, que sería bueno. Entonces, ¿por qué bajó el mercado? Simplemente estas narrativas no tienen sentido alguno, es con lo que están yendo con ese miedo. Lo que sí quiero decir es esto. El viernes vimos la deuda de Estados Unidos, absolutamente los retornos de los bonos. Y esto, los retornos de los bonos, para la gente que no lo entiende y no lo quiere entender y nunca quiere aprender, esto es muy fácil. Es cuánto te está pagando Estados Unidos por prestarle dinero. Es todo. Y si lo que paga Estados Unidos para prestarte dinero cayó como piedra, que es literalmente lo que pasó, vimos el bono a un año cayó 7% el viernes. O sea, el retorno, Estados Unidos de la noche a la mañana el viernes, o bueno, el mercado valoró que Estados Unidos debería pagarte 7% menos en solamente un día. La última vez que vimos algo así, o yo personalmente lo vi que estaba checando, fue el oro en el 2020, antes de tener el ajuste, después de dar continuación, y fue cuando la bolsa llegó a nuevos máximos históricos. El oro cayó 8% en un día. Y eso me recuerda bastante a esto. ¿Por qué están cayendo los intereses a corto plazo? La gente se pregunta 1 año, 2 años, en vez que también el 10, el 30 años están cayendo, pero el corto plazo está cayendo, es por el Genius Act. Es justamente por eso. Esto permite a Estados Unidos endeudarse más y tener más compradores de esa deuda sin causar un problema de sostenibilidad en su deuda y en su sistema financiero. Es lo que hemos platicado 1000 veces, lo entendemos. Ok, solamente para cerrar esto. Bueno, yo pienso que definitivamente estamos en una recesión, pero la van a declarar para fin de este año, el último cuarto, primero del segundo. No estoy cambiando en eso. Lo que voy a decir es, y va un poco en contra de lo que pienso es, va a tener que pasar algo fuera de solamente continuar con la bolsa tal cual. ¿Y a qué me refiero con continuar con la bolsa tal cual? Me refiero a simplemente seguir viendo la actividad económica bajando, 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 bajando. Tiene que haber, tiene que haber algo que pase. Le tiene que dar a la economía algo, un susto, un golpe, algo tiene que pasar, porque si no llega a pasar, vamos a entrar en el 2026 definitivamente estamos en una de las peores situaciones económicas que yo he visto en toda mi vida. Todo el mundo le tiene miedo a una recesión en el 2008, están ya ahí. No sé por qué todo el mundo cree que va a haber bebés en la calle prendidos en llama o vendiendo cigarros en una recesión, pero no funciona así. Esto es lo que es una recesión en Estados Unidos, yo sé que en otros países están muy bien, pero en Estados Unidos sí estamos muy mal. No es normal que una gran parte de nuestra población no tenga dinero para comer y que tenga que endeudarse para simplemente ir a la tienda a comprar comida. No tiene sentido alguno. Eso no es como funciona normalmente la cosa. Y estamos viendo eso crecer y crecer y crecer. Pero a lo que voy es, esto podría continuar. Y esto querría decir para todos ustedes que no lo junten, querría decir para toda la gente que está esperando a que bajen los intereses, que no los van a bajar por otro año, 2 años, ¿ok? Y ese sería, en mi opinión, lo que he dicho por un rato ya, el peor escenario de todos. Ese para mí sería el peor escenario de todos, donde todo se queda tal cual como está ahorita por 2 años más. No sé, o sea, no entendería qué le iría a pasar a la gente. Lo mejor que nos podría pasar es que algo ocurra, que sea una falla de liquidez en el sistema de dólares, porque todo Estados Unidos está comprando la deuda, alguna dinámica que cambie, que haga que el sistema básicamente se pare rápido y luego continúe. Eso sería el mejor escenario, porque si no se da entre ahora y marzo del próximo año, eh, muy probablemente vayamos a ver este sufrimiento prolongado para todos. Y eso también tendría sentido de cierta forma, volteando a ver el mercado de las casas con lo que pasó en el 2008, etcétera. Que una vez más, en mi opinión, sería lo peor para todos los negocios chicos porque no se pueden endeudar, también negocios medianos. No puedes salirte de los problemas en los que estás y la gente se continúa endeudando. Entonces, hay muchas cosas que ver en este momento. La primera va a ser si ya topamos en esos 123. Y de nuevo, esto es simplemente yo, Alejandro. No estoy hablando por estos cracks para nada de lo que estamos viendo. Así que vamos a ver qué pasa. Vamos a seguir paso a paso con esto. Yo continúo con mi plan de oportunidades para comprar de acuerdo a mi plan y no me voy a mover de eso todavía. No hay nada que me esté, hasta ahorita todo está yendo tal cual de acuerdo a lo que he estado viendo y esperando y con mis expectativas. Y simplemente voy a continuar así. Bastante fácil. El mercado ha estado en general bastante fácil para tradear. Está algo difícil por todas las cosas que dice Trump, que de la nada viene y te coge. Pero fuera de eso, todo muy bien. Así que voy a traer a Alex, voy a traer a Farhan ahora para todos ustedes que quieran aprender a tradear con nosotros para también hacer una lanita en lo que están sentados en casa, como el tío Salo, que tengo ahí un pleito por una lana, cabrón. O sea, puedes creer que la abuela se murió y no me dejó los terrenos a mí, se los dejó a mi primo Lalo. Y Lalo, pues está como loco, no me quiere dar nada. No, tengo un problema con un exchange. Pero si ustedes quieren caer a nuestro Discord, que es absolutamente gratis, cáiganle, está aquí abajo en la descripción la invitación a nuestro Discord. Aquí lo tienen del lado izquierdo, súper fácil de usar. Son los menús, ya ven aquí arriba Elite Trading Academy. Déjenme, me aseguro que sí estén viendo esto en pantalla. Efectivamente, acá tenemos los análisis de Alex, por supuesto. Tenemos los análisis de Farhan. No voy a dejar que cargue, por alguna razón está lento esto. Tenemos también el chat general. Yo vengo al chat general a ver qué está pensando la gente cuando hay una caída, cuando hay una subida abrupta, qué están haciendo, qué están diciendo. Siempre es bueno tener a alguien acá que nos dé una idea de si esto va a continuar, si no, y también si tal vez alguien nos prende un poco de, tal vez está mal lo que estás pensando, porque siempre cuando te adentras en un análisis, ya sabes que crees que siempre estás bien, incluido su tío Salo, por supuesto, como siempre. Vengan a compartir sus P&Ls con nosotros, vengan a decirnos cuánto dinero están haciendo o perdiendo. Aquí un 256% en ese trade de XRP. Nada mal, Sora 271%, 41% para arriba. Vámonos. Andamos calientitos, 740. El gato mío no está por acá. Yo sé que mucha gente dirá, ¿quién es el gato mión? Es el gato mión. El gato mión es el nuevo campeón de esta cosa. 335%. Necesito uno de esos trades de 335%. Me llevé un 50% con mi trade de Solana este fin de semana cuando me fui long en la mañana. Digo, ¿qué fue? Viernes o sábado. Y el domingo desperté muy contento. Llevé mi take profit 50%, pero vengo acá y me da tristeza. O sea, 800%. 1000%. Tengo que aprender de ustedes. Definitivamente todavía me falta, cabrones. Todavía me falta para poder sacar este tipo de resultados. También cualquier cosa que necesites, abreviaciones o cosas que ves por acá, aquí tenemos nuestro tab de Criptolingo para que puedas venir a ver qué exactamente se dice, por si lo entiendes, mi estimado. Más allá de eso, ¿qué más tenemos acá? También nuestros enlaces oficiales por si quieres registrarte en BTCC, si quieres registrarte en Bluffing, etcétera. Aquí los tienen. Y pues si quieren tradear futuros con nosotros en un exchange de futuros para aprender y hacerlo de manera gratuita, lo único que tienes que hacer es meterte a Tutos en nuestro sitio web, que también el enlace está aquí abajo. Le picas en cómo tradear en Bluffing. Bluffing es un intercambio, es un exchange de futuros de criptomonedas. Entonces tienes Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana y Fartcoin y todas las que te imagines por acá y te puedes apalancar hasta 150x en Bitcoin, por ejemplo. Y que es una mamada, ¿no? Pones $1,000 y tienes una posición abierta de $150,000. 5 minutos para ver cómo funciona esto y una vez que está hecho. Por cierto, así funcionan todos los exchanges de futuros, todos son idénticos. También estamos con BTCC, que es lo mismo, pero también te puedes apalancar hasta 500x, $1,000, hasta $500,000 en un trade, que imagínate la liquidación de eso. Y también, y también puedes tradear en BTCC acciones tokenizadas como Tesla, AMD, Google, Nvidia, etcétera, Meta. Y aquí tienes nuestro enlace para la página de Bluffing para que te puedas registrar. Usa siempre nuestros enlaces aquí abajo para registrarte, para poder participar en todas las dinámicas que vamos a tener. Me caga cuando dicen eso. No, espérenme. Me caga cuando dicen eso, pero no me caga tanto como cuando dicen, oye, ¿me puedes apoyar? Güey, solamente dime qué necesitas. ¿Puedes hacer esto por mí, por favor? ¿Puedes buscar esto, por favor? ¿Puedes hacer esto? ¿Por qué tengo que apoyarte? Discúlpenme, esa es una tangente muy estúpida que tengo, pero aquí les tengo a Alex y a Farhan. Vámonos con esto, damas y caballeros, a empezar.
Buenos días, muchachos. Happy Monday.
I was very concerned that you guys were not going to be awake. I'm not going to lie. I was like, I haven't heard anything from anyone this morning. These motherfuckers are going to be like, oh, I forgot it was Monday. I thought it was Friday or Thursday or something. I was very nervous. No.
That's haram.
By the way, I love going to the Middle East and ask someone for something and they go, no. Instant. That's when I went to the Middle East for the first time in Dubai. No one like gave a fuck about car YouTubers or anything, and I'd show up to car dealerships, and I was like, dude, I want to make a video and this video, and I would show them Hyper 5 and whatnot, and they'd go, no. Go to my friend right next door. He shows you car. He cares about video, not me. And I went to every single one. Everyone's like, no. I was like, God damn.
Guys have more money than God, so they don't give a fuck about videos.
Dude, and back then also at the same, well, now they do. Now they're all fucking whores for videos. Let us be clear. There's one thing that people in Dubai like more than their money, and that is Insta fame. So
the clout.
It changed. I was just there before it changed, unfortunately. So
that dude Carl the Moon tried to go buy a Bugatti with Ethereum, and the dealership wouldn't let him record the video. So he was trying to find whichever dealership would let him record the video, and he bought it from them.
you see what I'm saying? And right now, they would die for that. They would die for that, which is, of course, always my bad timing for not being within trend. God damn. Alex, what are you seeing with the Bitcoin price?
Well, it's been not the funnest price action over the weekend, but I am identifying a few setups today and a few interesting developments. So, what we saw over the weekend was simply, we had this move down, went right to that $112,000 region, and then we kind of stopped here. We saw bulls push up. We then reclaimed above that EMA 100. I was identifying a potential inverse head and shoulders here. If we, let's say, back tested that EMA 100, we didn't do that. And so now what we have is a bullish reclaim, and you're moving up slightly past that move, the EMA 9 on the 12-hour. So what am I looking at moving forward? Well, I'm still gauging that $116,000 region. I do think that we are going to get volatility here soon. That's just shown on the daily. We have a literal volatility setup still firing off. And what you have now is, yes, you closed under the daily EMA 34. If we were truly going to be bearish in the sense of if we're truly weak, this retest should have just rejected, leading you down to the EMA 100. That doesn't seem like that's occurring. And rather so, I want to see that daily EMA 9 get tested. And again, maybe a wick up to that $116,000 level. What was major support will be flipped into major resistance. So that's what I see going forward today. It's not the most clear price action for me. And if we even just go to the hourly, I mean, bulls are defending $114,000 with their life. I mean, let's go here. Let's go to $114,000. They are absolutely defending this, right? I don't know why that's not straight. We like straightness here.
Wow, Alex, why do you say that? What about the LGBTQYZ, Jen Pantoflan, and Symbiotic people? What about those?
I can't even right now. I can't even. I'm so triggered.
Sorry, Alex, go on.
No, absolutely. I mean, all your guys' feelings matter, I guess. We had this $114,000 area. This was being defended. I mean, every time you're moving down, it gets bought up and springs, down gets bought up and springs. And even into New York Open here, you had a nice move down, went right to $114,000 before now going up. And so, that is still being defended. The hourly is in silver cross posturing. And so now what we're gauging is to see if that EMA 100 gets reclaimed again. Until last night, you had this, failed reclaim leading to a nice move down back to $114,000. Formed a lower high here. Couldn't break the last low. And so now what this is potentially looking like is an hourly trend shift. Now, does this mean we're bullish? We're about to break out? No. We still need to get back specifically above the EMA 100. If we get back above the EMA 100, yeah, I'll be convinced this was a bottom, and we potentially are going to move up to around that $118,000, which is still my, extremity short. If you pop up to here, consolidate, squeeze up, I'm still looking at this as, ultimately a short opportunity. So, yes, it's not very clear. Bears really are trying to lose $114,000 today, all while bulls are trying to push up, flip the daily momentum pivot back in their favor, getting a daily closure back above that $116,000, causing this volatility setup to fire off to the upside. Currently, this should fire off to the downside. And now we had a 5-day candle. We were waiting on this. You technically reclaimed that $118,000. You lost it. You rejected it. You lost that $116,000 region. Excuse me. And so even if you got that squeeze up to that daily 9, it still would be looked at as a bearish retest. This is still major resistance. This was support. So it needs to be proven to you that this is resistance. You very well could roll over today. And that's why I don't want FOMO to occur here. We're watching very carefully with the Academy. We're looking at short setups here. I'm really gauging essentially $115,000 not to get taken out. And therefore, I'm just simply watching this 12-hour 9. Because even if we're not losing that $114,000, we're still not breaking out of this region here. This region right around $115,000 is very important for bulls to start breaking. Until then, I mean, you're just kind of in the gray zone of the chart. Could go up, could go down. It's not the most clear to me.
Can I tell you what I did? I longed 112,800, something like that, and I have my take profit at 115,500.
Yeah, see, that's a good trade. Wow.
Yeah, I took a couple of longs, but I didn't have the balls to hold them all the way through, so I just took 2 scalps and cut them when they were up.
Smart.
Yeah, I tried to enter a short here. This is how I identified $114,000 was not breaking, because each time we'd go down, I'd have to add. Till here, I closed all shorts. I'm watching the Academy short I gave out last night. Should be filling around this region. But understand that if you do start, let's say, reclaiming above the EMA 100, we can simply close the short, look to short higher, and then maybe that $115,000 stop loss that we're running might get run. So we just want to understand that I don't think this range and consolidation is going to last forever. You even have an hourly volatility setup brewing, and you did rally right into resistance. So I'm still gauging this zone as it's not very clear, but as long as you are under that 12-hour 9, daily EMA 34, and on top of it, something easier is just like the hourly 100, you should have a bias of going down and breaking down. It's just going to be dependent on that $114,000. Very well could look like this, and then you make your move down to around that $112,000 region. Because how my system works is if the daily EMA 34 is lost, this is going to then take you to the 100. The 100 right now is moving up. I do believe this will move right around that 109 region, which is very important because you were seeing this kind of catch price before we broke out. This would be ultimately very bullish if you could see this move up. You see a rejection down, and then this springs you back up. So really, I mean, on Bitcoin, I'm just watching to see what occurs here. We understand the daily's in a downtrend. This was your lower low. We understand anywhere up to here can be a lower high. And that's why I don't want to get blindsided on, the volatility that we had on New York Open. It seems to me like both sides got smoked. We have Darth Maul Darth Maul has entered the building. That's just when you get a wick down and then a wick up. And it's most likely will close in like a doji formation. Just telling you, late longs got smoked, late shorts got smoked. Generally, hopefully, we'll get some volatility soon. Let's look at the HPDR now. You can see here the top side of the 38.2% on the hourly is right around that EMA 100. So I do think that's a good area to gauge. You start reclaiming that EMA 100, we may then actually go up to that $116,000 region, which shouldn't surprise absolutely anyone. This should be the first zone where you're looking to majorly short if, let's say, we don't roll over from here. But the Academy still has shorts, and I'm looking to fill on my shorts here. As long as we're not taking out $115,000, I'm still looking at this as going to resolve in a breakdown. Now, I do think it's sooner rather than later. I mean, we're seeing all lower time frame volatility get reset. I mean, I do think, we're going to get volatility here today. I do think so. And we just want to be gauging 114,000 very carefully and or 115,000. one of these breaks, you're going to get a nice move up. I do think if you break down, it would be wise to be watching right around that $112,000 area. You do still have, like I mentioned in the beginning of this bullish reclaim. So let's say we did roll over from here. If you just came down to that, EMA 100 on the 12-hour, this is still a bullish setup. This is what bulls would want to see as like the throwback, and they'd want to see this hold and break out. All while bears are just waiting for this to massively deviate, confirm a local top by a loss of this EMA 100, leading to a major move down to that 109K region. Because even on the 12-hour, I mean, that's why it's hard, because it's like you still could get a nice 2% move down. Very well could be a bullish, throwback. But still, I mean, that's still a tradable move if we get it. You are still caught between that 12-hour 9, which is a short trigger in itself. It's not really until you reclaim that 12-hour 9 where then you get a shot to go all the way up to that EMA 21, sitting right at $116,000. Even the 10-hour here's right at that 100. So, I mean, you are at resistance on the chart. I am more on the bias that this will break down than break out. Very well could be wrong on this one, though. And that's why I want the Academy to understand that if you are shorting here, I would not go too insane on size, because if we did squeeze up to around here, I am looking to short this as my first major zone. Reclaim above $116,000 will equal a move up to that $118,000. So I don't want to be scaling mega shorts here in case we squeeze up, take out all shorts, and then roll over. I want to be able to take a nice stop loss, very tight, understand where I'm wrong. And if you do start breaking that $115,000, it will seem to me like we are going to squeeze up today. And you may see resolution on that, meme channel I drew here. So, I mean, we'll know in the next, in my opinion, 3 hours where this will go. So that's Bitcoin. It's a very fun range. It essentially can go up or down. It's just a more matter of how much of a downside move will we have. And are bears just simply going to get the easy trade off the daily EMA 34? In my experience, generally you don't. I mean, the easy trade flexing for bears is just to reject here and move all the way down to the EMA 100. But even on this perspective, you're like, well, maybe, shorts aren't going to get the easy trade. Maybe you're just going to test the EMA 9 on the daily and even get that HBDR, bearish retest officially. So that's still on the table here. $116,000 is still my zone if we get it. But it doesn't mean that I'm not looking at this region that we're currently at with my bear goggles, looking at, maybe there's a setup potentially brewing here. We'll know soon. So that's Bitcoin. Watch the range, watch the levels. Understand that if you start, reclaiming that EMA 100 on the hourly, getting back above $115,000, this will look very prime to me to break out and go to that $116,000. That's where you need to pay attention. You're either going to reject there. That's our first major short area, or you're going to roll, or you're going to reclaim that, hold it as support, and then you're going to get a spring up to $118,000. All the shorts here get absolutely smoked. You get that 5% move. Anyone on a 20x or above gets liquidated. So fun market. I mean, I'm not really. I'm still going to play what I know, and we are still bearish, but that quickly can change. You are seeing $114,000 get defended. That's something you should just mentally know. And this is kind of the spot now. You're either going to see bears roll over here, or they'll get that breakout. So we'll know very soon. We'll know very soon. It seems to me like we're already potentially breaking out. Now, again, not confirmed until, you're about to get that hourly close too. So it's about to look pretty good for your long, Alejandro. If we can just hold this EMA 100 and get above here.
Funny enough, I didn't get stocked out. So I'm still long too.
Go, good for you. Good for us, huh?
I thought I got stopped. I was 100% sure I got stopped.
Good for us.
Yeah, how lovely. How lovely. I'm glad I didn't short into this. I was waiting and watching. I mean, this was just not. It's like you were about to break down, and then it just did its typical move up. Um, and with hourly volatility this low, with this channel, with the reclaim of that EMA 100, you should now be looking at potentially this. So you'll know this is wrong if you fall back into that EMA 100. I was looking at this setup yesterday. Something as simple as an hourly setup can really give you a bias. What occurred last time when you SFP'd that EMA 100? Here you reclaimed it, you went up, you wicked up, tried to trend shift, you lost it, you then rejected it, leading to that downside move. So that's why yesterday I was really looking at maybe bears to step in here, move us more down. They didn't get the breakdown. And so that's why now you just simply need to start seeing this hold. No reason why we should close any hourly under this EMA 100. It's not looking the worst for longs, I will say. We even got a 2-hour too. And you're above the 34. I'll take the 5 off so there's no confusion. Right, this EMA 34 was kind of, you're getting a lot of chop, broke out. Next objective should be $116,000. So, I'm going to be watching this carefully because the Academy is short, but our stop loss is very tight from here. If you did take this short and now you're, maybe break even again, I'd consider de-risking here. You don't want to, be aggressive if you are potentially about to break out. You don't want to be fueling this move up. It's only until you get back under that EMA 100 in the hourly where, yeah, I'll look at this maybe as a breakdown. But that hasn't occurred. You even got the hourly that I wanted, that bulls wanted essentially to break out. So that's Bitcoin. Let's look at Bitcoin dominance because, well, I do think Ethereum is looking quite interesting at this, during this week. So the 5-day to me is not looking the best. It still looks like it wants to go down to that 59.5%. And we're now just essentially within this big range on Bitcoin dominance. You see here the last 5-day tried to wake up to the, 5-day 9. And it couldn't do that. And so you're now just simply watching to see if you're going to take out the last 5-day low. Taking out this low here right around 61.31% for me would be signs of a breakdown, and then we have that objective here. Hopium is that you did reclaim the 34, but the issue is you just weren't able to get back above the range. So this is still under resistance. Yes, you're back above the EMA 34. That's Hopium. But if you don't see into this week a move to the 9, this will just look like a trap, in my opinion. Reclaim the 34, stayed under resistance, and now we might get that move down. You can just look at this shift in real time. I mean, also the 55 off. This isn't, right? You can just see how well it respected. Quick reclaim. This is looking like it broke down, and now you're just finding resistance. So I'd be watching the 59.69% very carefully. Because you are still brewing a 2-week setup. Now, it's not giving us a setup yet, but it's brewing one. It's potentially going to give you one, into September. And this is bearish. I mean, as long as you're under this 2-week 9, it's the objective you got to get back above that. You very well could see this 21 hold as support and move you up. But that's the point, which is you have to start seeing this weekly move up to the 9. If you don't see that, it's going to be a cause of concern. You have to really consider this reclaim here as maybe a trap scenario. All while the daily SMA 200 rejected. So, I mean, Bitcoin dominance looks pretty bearish to me. It looks like it wants to go to that 59.69%. You're even seeing it now rally up to the EMA 100. We understood that was a possibility. but you were unable to reclaim it. So this is now resistance. And yes, you're at the cliff side edge. If this EMA 9 on the monthly doesn't hold, you're going to see a big move down to like the 59% minimum. So I'd just be watching this very carefully. Not very bullish, if I do say so myself. And as long as you're under that SMA 200, you really should not be bullish on Bitcoin dominance. This just looks like it's on the verge of breaking down. We'll see where this daily closes. Perhaps we fall back within the blue zone, within the range. But again, bulls kind of need to see a bounce here this week. I mean, this should, in theory, hold. It should start moving up to the 9, and then you'll have to see if you reclaim that 62.43%. Till then, I wouldn't be trading Bitcoin dominance. I'd be more looking for a move down and watching really carefully that 59.69%. How do we have on Tether dominance? Well, Tether dominance looks like it's potentially on the verge of a major breakdown. You had that move up to the monthly 9, but it just looks like it's rejected it. You're now at the bottom side of the 38.2%. If let's say you see July low get taken out, yeah, this will be, I believe, just breaking down. And I think next objective will be right around that 3.79%. We go to the weekly, I mean, it still is solid support. You can just see visually how well this region held for bulls. And you know, you're just kind of within the gray zone of the chart. You could go up maybe to that 4.69%, but you also could go down. And that's why you really need to see that weekly 9 get reclaimed. Did not. Still looking like this is potentially in a lower high. And we're just waiting for a move down. Oh, and the weekly, I'll talk about that. The weekly volatility is about to actually fire off. Noticing here, within the next 1 or 2 weeks, this could confirm the move. As it stands, this isn't looking very bullish. And remember, Bitcoin has the inverse correlation with, you know, Tether dominance. So to me, it looks like the 5-day bearish retest is in, maybe the weekly lower highs in. In theory, you should start seeing bears reject us down all the way to 3.99%. Now, that has implications for maybe Bitcoin is actually breaking out here. You know, I'm when I see Tether dominance look as bearish, I'm like, yeah, maybe we are validly breaking out from this point. Let's watch $116,000 very carefully. Because this chart looks very bearish. I mean, even on the daily here. Right, you're under the EMA 100. Yeah, you're throwing it back. So hopium is that this holds. Very well could just lose the daily 9 and start making its move to the median. So today will be very telling for crypto. I want to see if the daily 9 holds or if we actually lose it, giving us maybe more confidence that Bitcoin is actually breaking out from here. But you took the 115. You're now right almost to the zone that we talked about. I'm watching $116,000 very carefully. And yeah, GGL, Andre, you basically got your TP. That's pretty nice.
Sorry, I'm working out, but that's fucking awesome news. I'm not even looking at the chart. I'm just listening to you looking at the computer from a distance.
No, good job. I mean, yeah, valid breakout. So
Sweet.
watch that carefully. Watch 116,000. I still think that that is the first zone you want to be watching carefully, solely based on the 5-day. I mean, you would be gauging this bearish retest anyways. Just don't get blindsided. Very easily can go up, leave a wick, and then start moving down. I talked about this yesterday when I went live. We just simply need to watch $116,000. If you're bullish and you're on the camp, we're going to make a new high, then there should be no reason at all that this doesn't get reclaimed on a daily. So knowing that, watch that carefully. Understand that the daily 9 has now been hit. You've now officially put in the bearish retest of the 38.2%. This is the zone where I'm not going to be longing. Rather, I want to start de-risking longs and maybe look for a short in this region. So yeah, that's all I have. I'm interested to see what foreign has. But let's not disregard this region only until you get above $116,000, where then I'll be like, yeah, I think you're going to squeeze to 118,000. But until then, you just don't want this to roll over here. And then tether dominance holds that daily 9 throwback. This is still in a breakout. Will really shift if this doesn't hold the 9, but you very well could hit the daily 9, hit 116, start moving up to here, all while everyone's bullish on Bitcoin again. So,
Alrighty. I will start with the very low time frames this time around. We're gonna do some very degenerate gambling time frames. So I'm gonna do the hour firstly. The hourly, we have a silver cross to the upside, and we have at first we had a close over our 100 EMA, which was a deviation because we immediately closed back under it. We got a retest of it, a bearish retest, and then we went all the way back down to retest that silver cross. And as of now, that $114,000 area where that silver cross is, where the 21 and the 55 EMA have been providing very significant or strong support. Every single time we've tapped it, we've gotten a decent bounce off of it. As of this moment, the last tap that we had put in a pretty massive bullish engulfing candle, which engulfed this past 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, I think 7 or 8, like almost 10 candles, the past 10 candles it has engulfed. And it's reclaimed the 100 EMA and basically every single one of our other major EMAs. This activates my or triggers my long strategy where it closing over that 100, preferably want to get 2 closes over that 100 is what takes you to that 200 SMA. Right now the 200 is sitting at about $116,385. My TP for my long is at about 116,250 to front run this area. And my stop loss right now is at this wick low at about 114,000 flat. Because if this wick low gets taken out, then you're very likely going to be retesting these lows here at around $112,000. So it's very, very simple risk to reward right here. From about 114s, that is what, 35%. And upwards is 1.66%. Now, if you're still not in that long, probably a little bit too late, to be honest. If you want to be very aggressive, you could wait for a close over this 38.2%. A retest of this 38.2% to that 200 SMA, although the risk reward is not that great because your stop loss is roughly equal to your TP. That would be like 0.88%. So you still have a little bit more reward versus your risk. It's not exactly ideal. And right now on the hourly, you're getting momentum very close to flipping back into the bullish control zone, and volatility is now expanding from almost 0%. And then if we look at momentum, let's see what the closes we have. This is at 114,185. And what is our last major low? 113. Okay, so there's no possibility for hidden bullish divergence because we did take out this previous low. And did we put in another low? No, so there's no divergence is possible at all. On the Jewel, we have now just confirmed a fresh buy signal. It has not been confirmed just yet, but it's very likely going to confirm in the next 46 minutes. And there's a little bit of hidden bullish divergence on the Jewel because we did take out these previous lows. Not a very significant drive, but should be enough to take us to that 200 SMA. Let's go to the 30-minute. 30-minute is also now in the bullish control zone, and it has reclaimed the 200 SMA. We've gotten a solid close over it. This 200 has been very solid resistance ever since basically around $118,000, our last major lower high. Right now, we are getting a little bit of resistance / rejection at the 78.6%, although I wouldn't really see that as a very bad sign as long as we are holding over this 200 SMA and we have gotten fresh breakout over the 200. So it does make sense to come back down and give a nice little retest and then move into that hourly 100. 2 hours reclaimed this 55 EMA from the silver cross that we had to the downside, effectively invalidating that silver cross. And now we are finding a little bit of rejection at this 38.2%. Very, very reasonable place to find your first rejection on the first tap around. very likely it comes back down to make another higher low somewhere around here and bounces from here into that 116 area. The invalidation is losing this 55 EMA on a closing basis or ticking below this wick low. And we're starting to form somewhat of a inverse Herpendorp right here. Little inverse head and shoulders with your shoulder right here, your head, other shoulder. It's a little bit of a Quasimodo inverse head and shoulders because this is not the best shoulder. It's somewhat valid, not exactly. It's kind of a Jesus toast inverse head and shoulders. On the 2 hour, we're also starting to flip up on momentum, and 2 hours putting in hidden bullish divergence by taking out all of these previous lows and price action steadily putting in higher lows, which was confirmed on this previous candle close over that 55 EMA, giving you an easy target towards somewhere around this 100, which is not really that much higher, somewhere around 15,600. The next target is somewhere around that 200, which is going to steadily come down. Right now, it's at about $117,000. I'm thinking somewhere around that mid 116 to low $117,000 area is going to be the area to start de-risking from longs and possibly shifting into shorts, with your stop loss at this wick high right over here at about $118,900-ish. That will be the most high probability trade in that region. And if it gets stopped, then you can just easily flip back long, and you can long towards $121,000, which is our high time frame pivots, which we will get to in the momentum chart. Right now, the 2 hour is starting to lose the sell signal on the jewel, flipping over into a neutral signal. And within the next one or two closes, very likely this is going to switch into a buy signal. And what will basically confirm that it's going to switch into a buy signal is closing over this 38.2%. But what also very likely will do it is getting another close over this wick high at about $114,958. So basically $115,000. Any close over $115,000 very likely does confirm that buy signal. It's not going to be as powerful of a buy signal, however, because it's happening in the bullish control zone, but it should produce a reasonable move. It supports the idea of a bearish retest with getting a buy signal in very extreme areas. Four hours now also very close to flipping back to the upside on momentum, getting right to that bullish control zone. Volatility is still in a contraction phase, very close to expanding, however. And then if we look at the jewel is giving us a very epic buy signal right now, with the pink going above the yellow within the bearish control zone. Light blue is above everything else. That generally produces somewhat respectable results, because you have to remember it's a 4 hour setup, so you can't expect too much from that. Let's put in a vertical line and see what type of results these things usually produce. And we're only going to take the ones in the bearish control zone. Right there. And this will be the last one. Yeah, we love to see that pink over yellow. Give me that pink over yellow.
Wow, that's
Who are pink people?
everyone. White people, no? That's
We
what
used
we
to
used to
call-
call. Hang on. If you were going to draw a white person in school, are you going to use the color pink when you were a child, or would you use the color white?
We use peach.
Don't fucking go with your bullshit in between colors, okay? Don't give me that bullshit. It's pink. It's
We
pink.
used peach back in the day.
You mean
all right.
salmon.
Hey, maybe in your defense, maybe they didn't have peach crayons back then.
We did not. We did not. 40 years ago, we certainly did not. Fuck you. Continue. I'm out.
On this setup, immediately we had about 7%, and then about 17%, 18%. Very respectable considering this is a 4 hour setup. About 5.5%, very similar to the 7%. This one was not much at all. 1%. It did end up going higher. I'm just not going to take it, the other results, because it went back down to retest these lows. So I don't really consider that very fair. This one more immediate, about 3%, and about 7%. Very nice. Another almost 7% move. Very by the book. Now we will take where we've from here and see how much we've gone up. Oh, not even 1%. Our minimum 1% move, 1% move brings us right around that 55 EMA to about $115,800, $116,000. Take it about 3%, which is that middle move, brings us to about $117,000, $118,000. And the higher end move of about 7% would bring us to very close to new current all-time highs at right around $122,600. This is what bulls are hoping on happens right now, based off of that bounce that we're getting off of the weekly 9 EMA, which we're going to get to on the weekly in a little bit. We go up to daily. And now we look at the daily. Daily is flipping back up as well on momentum, getting very close to getting out of the bearish control zone. Effectively, I think it is out of the bearish control zone. Yeah, ever so slightly, it's out of the bearish control zone, with volatility now going into a contraction phase. So technically, you should be looking at this as a lower high. And the areas where you can find significance for that lower high would be your bottom 38.2%. This is going to be your major zone of resistance, which lines up with your EMA cross of the 21 below the 9 below the 21, and that's at that same $116,000 area. This is one of the main reasons why I think it's probably wise to start de-risking long somewhere around this area, wait to see the reaction, and then maybe if it shows strength, then you can re-enter those longs. Shows weakness, then you can possibly short this area. But I wouldn't be writing longs that are in profit into this area and continuing to hold them and risk walking back that P&L. Nothing sucks more than walking back several thousands dollars. And on the daily, we do have an overall bearish cross with the pink crossing below the yellow in the bullish control zone. So this would be the opposite of the 4-hour move, and a daily has, I believe, 6 4-hour candles in it. So it's a lot more significant than a 4-hour. So that would tell you bearish retest into a nice little dump based off of the daily. And that next dump, if we do get it, I do think is going to be the spring that takes us to new all-time highs. And right now, my bias is that it's just going to be a retest of our current low right around the weekly 9 EMA. And the 2-day is now also starting to flip up on momentum, getting right at that moving average, getting out of the bearish control zone. Volatility is still in expansion phase, very close to going into contraction. It hasn't happened yet, though. And the 2-day is also giving us a very bearish cross. Pink below the yellow, dark blue below everything else, losing the bullish control zone. That's not good. And you have the God mode background. Let's get a vertical line. But what this does seem to me is that I'm thinking this is one of those setups that is going to just retest our current lows, make an ever so slightly higher low, and continue to just bait shorts in to fuel the move to all-time highs. Happy to be wrong, but that's the kind of feeling that I'm getting right now, with the inability to break 114,000 on every single attempt. And the more times we test these lows, the more drives of hidden bullish divergence we're going to form. That's enough. Now let's test. Now let's see the results. Should be pretty respectable because it's a 2-day setup. This one ended up going down, but it went up first, so can't really count that. Went down by 1.7%. About 10%, pretty good. About 22%. 11%, 9% in one candle, or almost 10% in one candle. 13. Did it go higher? It went higher by 3%. So I think it's fair to count these. 26, 30. And as of now, we've only gone down about 6%. Let's take a test, go back to our current lows, see where that is. Somewhere around 6.5 to 7%. Very interesting. Now let's take it to that 10% number. That's about $106,000 to $107,000. Technically, still could be bullish in that area. You would just need to see a very, very, very strong bounce, and you'd want to see reclaims of that $114,000 area very quickly. Otherwise, that's going to start to put in some bearish divergences across the board, and you're probably going to dip nicely below 100,000 at that point. And probabilities are once you're going below 100,000, probably going to be testing 80s, breaking the previous major swing lows, and probably high probability bear market at that point. I don't want to say confirmed because nothing, or guaranteed because nothing is guaranteed, but it's a very high probability you're in a bear market. 5-day, for this one, we will need to go to the index. 5-day is now right at that reset zone on momentum. Very close to putting in some hidden bullish divergence. We just need another retest of our lows to get a little bit of a lower low on momentum. This is the area where bulls would want to flip momentum back up to hit new all-time highs sometime around August. And right now we are still holding that median, and the median is been holding as support. We've retested it on this last candle. We've tested it on this wick low at about $114,100-ish, about a few $100 over the median. And as long as we are over that median, probabilities are 61.8% chance that we're going to go to this 38.2%, which right now is at about $128,000, $129,000. That ever so prophesized $130,000 area, will it come? Maybe this month. Based on the HPDR, it would say that we have a 61.8% chance. As long as we are holding over that median. Got to make sure you hear that. As long as we are holding over that median, because people are going to clip that part out. Right now we are at that 5-day 5 EMA, right around $115,500. This 5 EMA on the 5-day is usually the EMA that price action likes to ride on during trending moves. So if the move is to the downside, it'll ride that 5 EMA and reject it to the downside. If it's to the upside, it'll ride that 5 EMA and continue to make new highs from there. So once we reclaim that 5 EMA on a closing basis, that's also going to be a long trigger for me to that top 38.2%. That's going to be two long triggers in one at that point then. Being over the median and reclaiming the 5 EMA. Let's go to the weekly. Weekly is now flipped up on momentum freshly, right at the reset zone. This is the idea that we have for the 5-day. Weekly has already done it. 5-day hasn't just yet. Interesting to see that, considering the weekly is a higher time frame. And weekly is now getting volatility expansion with the momentum to the upside from literally 0%. And we're still holding. We got a little bit of close. We got to close below that 5 EMA. It's interesting. That would technically put it in a little bit of a bearish posturing, but we are above it at the moment. So as long as we are above it, that would give you probabilities at 38.2%. Where it starts to get very worrying with the close below it is if we reject it. If we reject it now within this next 6-day period, that'll give you high probabilities of breaking these lows and coming back down at a minimum to this median. Probably a little bit lower to somewhere around that $106,000, $107,000 area that we just saw with that 10% move to the downside. Right now, I am a little bit biased that doesn't happen. More biased towards, at the worst, retest of our current lows, right around that 112,000, 111,000. Then from there, I think we're going to go to new highs. Take out the current wick lows though at about 111,982. Then I think very likely we're going to go towards minimum 107. 2 week is now once again below the median. We've been above it for about when is that? 1, 2, 3, about 3 to 4 periods. This is the first time we've been freshly below the median since basically right over here in January. And we got a nice move down to the 21 EMA after we lost the median. Right now, that 21 EMA is sitting below $100,000. So if that happens again, it lines right up with that 38.2%. We would need to see one of these type of bounces to strongly reclaim that, not reclaim, but hold the 21 EMA and have no closing basis below it. Still would be very boring to retest it. I would prefer not to retest that 21 EMA and just not go below that $111,000 area. Right now, the momentum is slightly favoring the bears, with starting to shift to the downside, getting below the reset zone, getting to about -12. There is some hopium right now for the bulls that we're putting in some possible hidden bullish divergence, with volatility now expanding from 0%. But that divergence will need a close over about 120,271 to confirm. And if that does confirm, it gives you an easy target of that 130 zone. Monthly is now giving you a nice wick to the downside and a buyback right at that bottom 38.2%. This is kind of a more bullish outlook now that I see it on the monthly on the HPDR. As long as we are holding that $113,814,000 area, probabilities on the monthly are also towards that median, which is going to change. But if it hits it in this monthly period, that's about $160,000. Don't think it's going to hit it in this monthly period, though. I think it's going to, even if the most bullish scenario, probably within somewhere around the next 1 to 2 months. That is how much of a move to the upside. We don't want to get too crazy. That's like 36%. We've seen 36% in a month, so it's not that wild, I guess. Monthly is now putting in another possible drive of hidden bullish divergence by taking out these lows and also these, giving you 1, 2, 3, 4 possible drives of hidden bullish divergence now. This is going to be a little bit more difficult to confirm because you will have to close over your current all-time highs at around 123,181. But the benefit, though, is that it gives you a target somewhere around that 150 to 160 area. Monthly jewel right now is starting to curve back around, giving you the buy signal, and the monthly jewel is putting in hidden bullish divergence by ever so slightly taking out these lows. The last time we had a fresh buy signal on the jewel was right around here. And then we also had one here. And this is not in the bullish control zone, so we won't take that. Not very fair. Here's one in the bullish control zone. And that'll be it. Other ones are too early in the result history. Probably see some 1,000% moves. 3,100. Sorry to burst your bubble, but I don't think we're going to see 3,000% this time around. How much on this one? Let's see. This was about 17%. Now let's take from here and see 17% from this open. Oops, that's way too much. Brings us to roughly $126,000 to $127,000. That $127,000, 38.2% comes right back up again. Now we'll go to the quarterly. Quarterly, ever so slightly on that last close, closed over that median, giving you probabilities in the next quarterly candle you're going to get at least a reconnect with the median. And that median right now sits also at that $160,000 area. What my bias is right now, though, is based off of the relationship with the quarterly median. Every single time we've tested it, it's been our rejective high. I do think that median is very likely going to be at the very least a multi-week consolidation / local top. I don't think we're just going to blast through that median. Our previous all-time highs of around $108,000 was a rejection of the median. Our next tap was a rejection of the median. Not really a rejection of the median, but you did kind of stop around that median. The only in 2021, our all-time highs was right around that median. The only time we really went above the median was in 2017. And then after we closed over the median, we got another move up of about, from the open, about 297%. Pretty wild. So closing over that median of around 164,000, Right now it's $164,000. That's what even makes it like somewhat of a possibility to go to that 250,000 number that people are talking about. As long as we're below that median, pretty ridiculous to talk about $200,000+.
What do you mean? Then how are those guys going to get clicks on their YouTube videos and interviews where they all interview each other over and over and over again and then say the same thing over and over again? How is that possible?
It's literally what they do too. Same thing over and over for months or years.
Can I say the internet is also just there now where everything is just in a circle? Like there's nothing new. We already saw all the interviews and they're all going into the same podcast for the same things. Like literally there hasn't been anything new for 6 months. I haven't been able to find anything.
That's basically every single market, or not market, but every single genre, everything. Niche, every single one. They're all just recycling and regurgitating the same old content over and over and over again.
Yeah, because people don't realize, like, just spitting out information. And by the way, it's so funny that people also just watch it for information when all of it is on the, like, it's printed. You can just read it once and not see 30 people repeat it, because it's not like they're giving you their opinion. They're just reading it for you. I think we've arrived at a different dimension where everyone is just absolutely fucking retarded. And
I have some insight into this because I used to do that as well. It's the appeal to authority fallacy, where you think because somebody who sounds smart is saying it, it's a lot more important than whatever you read by yourself, because obviously this sophisticated and smart person knows a lot more than me.
Wow, what a disappointment, because that principle, I mean, I understand the principle that you're saying, and I guess we've all applied it, right, at some point, but the principle is mentally retarded in itself if these people are just reading the news and giving them to you, because it's literally just spitting the same thing and then taking more pauses to absorb it. So fuck.
It takes a minute before you can finally understand that, but once you do, then it clicks.
Yeah, it really does.
And the number one thing that really helps you digest it is you have to ask yourself, okay, so everyone else also has access to the same information. Does CNBC want us all to win? No.
But we got to make a living, so you better repeat everything online.
Same shit with CNN and all the other networks. They fail backwards.
Yeah.
Or fail upwards, I mean.
Upwards, yes, sir.
On the quarterly on the Bitcoin, we've still got 3 drives of hidden bullish divergence. Going to be active as long as you're closing over about $74,441. And the target is still right at that critical zone, which we've been looking at for the past several months now. The critical zone has been ever so slightly moving down, not as much as I would have liked to see it move down. It moved from $204,000 to $201,000. So maybe I'll have egg on my face and $200,000 will happen in the next month and a half, 2 months. I don't think so, but I'll take it. In the monthly, we have invalidated that drive of bearish divergence, and we've put in a drive of hidden bullish divergence. The RSI doesn't have that other drive possible right now, but the HPDR momentum does. That'll put in 3 drives or 4 drives of hidden bullish divergence on the HPDR, but there's only 1 on the RSI. And the next target on the RSI divergence is going to be that critical zone, which right now critical zone sits at about $148,000. We have a monthly volatility setup. We're going to get to that in the momentum chart. 2 week also has confirmed 3 drives of hidden bullish divergence, with another one possible right here. And that will confirm with a close over about 120,271. That'll give you an easy target of hitting somewhere around that critical zone, which right now sits at about a very high number, $176,000. Very likely this number updates. Weekly, nothing. Nothing. Daily is now invalidated the bearish divergence. That's interesting. Let's check some lower time frame divergences. Let's get into the weeds of it. Wow, no divergences on the low time frames. Interesting. Got any more of that bullish divergence, man? Hourly, finally, we got the divergence on the low time frame. Hourly has multiple drives of hidden bullish divergence, and that is going to be active. Same stop loss area is going to be active as long as you're over about 114,163. On this one, you can use it as a tick basis. You don't really need a close to invalidate it. Your next target on that one, the easy target, is going to be the bullish control zone, with volatility now expanding from below, above that 15% area. And the bullish control zone sits at about mid 115, so $115,600. Technically, we've already tapped this area. The next target with from that volatility is going to be about $118,000. That's the area where somewhere around that $117,000, $118,000 very likely is going to be a lower high, at the very least, a local top, and put even if we're bullish, probably puts in a higher low and then continues from there. I see it a little bit difficult to smash right through 118 and go to 120. 30-minute. We're going to get to the 1-minute short divergences. No, I'm just kidding. On the 30-minute, we've also got multiple drives of bullish divergence. And next target is the bullish control zone. That level sits at about same level, about 115 fours. And the more relevant number on this one, because it fits my bias, is that critical zone, which is right around $117,500. 15-minute, very close to invalidating the bullish divergence. It will invalidate with any close below about 115, 251. That'll give you an easy target of hitting that bullish control zone, sitting right about 114.9. Not really that much of a move down. Makes sense with volatility sitting at 100% to see somewhat of a mean reversion. All right, we'll start with the very low time frame momentum. So right now, like we mentioned on that volatility on the 15-minute is sitting at 100%. The moving average is slowly catching up. It's sitting at about 81%. Once we get that volatility oscillator dropping below the moving average, that's going to confirm a volatility contraction and the mean reversion, which we have volatility expanding to the upside, so the mean reversion would be a move to the downside. And as long as we are holding over this 5 EMA, you would have to assume that the bottom is in. Once you start to lose that 5 EMA, that's when you get a deeper pullback, and I don't think it's going to stop at the 9. I think it's going to come to somewhere around the 21, right around that 114.7, 114.8, as it slowly rises. Right now, momentum is going to be flipped to the upside as long as we're closing over about $114,391, about $114,400, let's say. Let's go down to... And now on the 5-minute, we have gotten that mean reversion. We have started flipping down and contracting on volatility after many, many periods of 100%. And we are starting to see that move to the downside. We have lost our 5-minute 9 EMA now. We're about to get a bearish retest of that 9 EMA. And very likely we do reject from there and see a nice little move to the downside. It's only a 5-minute chart, so keep that in mind. So that nice little move to the downside is not really going to be all that much. But should make another higher low from here at the very least, even if we're going to be bearish and get a retest of somewhere around that mid 114 area after we reject. Let's go to 10-minute. Also losing the 5 EMA, very close to getting that mean reversion. About to flip down on momentum, flipping down in about 6 minutes. And we have a similar area, yeah, about that 114.7 area for a 114, yeah, for the bounce. Now we will go to daily. Daily is also very strongly flipped to the downside, with volatility now expanding from many, many periods of 0%. and we are very close to entering into the critical zone, and we're going to be pointed down as long as we're closing below $116,000. Today now is at 0% volatility. It's been there for only one period, and momentum is currently flipped pretty heavily to the downside. It's about to break out of the bullish control zone, and it's going to be pointed down as long as we're closing below $119,350. 5-day is also freshly flipped to the downside. Is there any divergences here? 5-day has bearish divergence, and it is going to be flipped down as long as you're closing below $121,000. This is where that $121,000 number comes from. The reason why I'm giving it such importance. Right now, volatility is contracting with momentum to the downside, which is a little bit of bullish hopium. We don't want to see that volatility expanding with 5-day momentum down. That's what gives us those girthy red dildos to the downside of around like 25 to 30%. Weekly is also freshly flipped to the downside on this previous close. Let's see if there's any. Yep, and weekly also has bearish divergence, and it is going to be flipped down as long as you're below $121,100. That $121,000 number once again. Hopium is that weekly volatility is contracting while momentum is pointed down. Now we will switch to the index. Our beloved Bluffin doesn't have data from when they didn't exist. How dare they?
Can you please sue them?
I have to. There's no choice.
Yep, let's hire a Jew. We need a Jew in this team. We need a Jew. I know a lot of people think because my last name is Salama that I'm a Jew, but I'm actually an Arab. I'm sorry, everyone, to disappoint you. I'm sure you all want me to be now. I'm sure you all want me nuked and disappeared from the face of Earth. But yeah, we need a Jew in this team so that we can actually sniff the money out.
But before the nuking, please serve us some falafel, Mr. Arab.
Well, I can do that, or I can go Mexican. It's whatever derogatory term is best in your vocabulary. That's what people use against me. So I'm always down to either landscape your lawn or anything you need. Or I can make you falafels. I'm a sand. Anything you need.
Did I hear what I think I heard? I was about to say that.
I said,
I didn't know if I could say it, so
I said, I didn't use the full word, but yeah, that's, I mean, I got called. I remember when I moved to New York, he's still one of my best friends in the world. I met this dude that spoke Spanish and obviously English. He was a complete New Yorker. And this dude's like, look at this guy's from Mexico. Hey, why don't you come make me some chimichangas, senor? And I was like, dude, chimichangas are not from Mexico. And he goes, I'm sorry, I don't understand anything you're saying. Can you please speak in English? And that dude showed me beaner and wetback. I didn't know what those were. Like, he would call me a beaner and a wetback in front of everyone. And everyone was like, whoa, whoa. And I was like, I don't care. I don't care. I don't know what those things mean.
Racism unites us.
The American mind can comprehend that no one gives a fuck about these terms, really, outside of the U.S. No one. You can call any Mexican a wetback. We don't care. You can call me a beaner all day. You can call me a sentin, whatever you want. It doesn't matter.
It's only the fragile American mind that finds these terms so irritable and anger causing.
Well, yeah, it's on purpose too, poor guys. But hey, can enjoy some insults like everywhere else in the world.
I laugh right along with the racist jokes too.
Me too.
Yeah, you're right.
Every single time.
Life is more fun that way.
Oh yeah.
On the 2-week now, this is very worrying. We have 2-week momentum freshly flipping to the downside. And I believe that is also bearish divergence on the 2-week as well. And we are going to be flipped down as long as we're closing below about $116,560 or $116,600, let's say. Volatility is very close to confirming that expansion. We're just over that 15%. Let me confirm what the volatility was at before the close. Come on. I love this bar replay feature. It was not over the 15%, so we didn't confirm the setup yet. That would have been very bad if we confirmed that setup, because that would give you very heavy probabilities to the downside. Right now, you are going to be flipping down and breaking out of the critical zone too. Breaking out of the critical zone isn't too bad. What would be the death sentence is breaking out of the bullish control zone. If you notice, if you would just put with a vertical line right here, that bullish control zone has been support basically this entire bull market all the way through 2023. The edge of that bullish control zone has been that support zone. Basically, you could have just blindly bid the bullish control zone and made money every single time. Monthly is, oh, I moved my line. Monthly is now also freshly flipped to the upside, putting in hidden bullish divergence, and going to be flipped up as long as you're closing over about $94,900. This pivot went down significantly. This was sitting in the 100 and something area. I don't remember. It was well into the hundreds. It was about $103,700-ish dollars. That's gone all the way down to $94,000. Quite bullish to see the monthly pivot go down by that much. But also we saw the 5-day pivot go up a lot, which is the counterpoint. But monthly has a lot of more significance than the 5-day setup. And the monthly on the previous candle did confirm the volatility setup by closing over that 15%. With momentum pointed to the upside. And until we close below that 15%, that volatility setup is still going to be active. And the monthly volatility setup does have a 100% hit rate of playing out in terms of the direction of momentum, which right now is pointed to the upside as long as we're closing over about $95,000, give or take. And on the quarterly, we are still getting momentum to the upside with volatility expansion from the lowest level ever. And we're going to be pointed up as long as we're closing over about $108,200-ish. So go to low time frames once again. Get a quick little recap. Still pointed up. 2 hours now starting to get low time frames are starting to get bearish. Getting a derp of death, low volatility, nice shooting star. Hourly is still pointed up. 30 minutes, getting right to that edge. This is the area where bears are going to need to take over. 15-minute starting to flip to the downside. One more recap. The 5 minutes looking very weak. 5 minutes flip to the downside. 115.5. 115.5 across the board seems to be that number on the low time frames. So on the high time frames, Bitcoin is still looking very bullish to me, based off of the closure on that quarterly median, giving you a 61.8% chance of tapping the median at the very least on this next quarterly candle. You have quarterly putting in hidden bullish divergence on the HPDR momentum. You have monthly confirming hidden bullish divergence on basically every single momentum oscillator. You have it on the Joule, on the HPDR, on the RSI. Basically every single one has it, and it's invalidating the bearish divergence. It's giving you a monthly volatility setup, which has a 100% hit rate of going in terms of direction. 2-week has hidden bullish divergence, but on the counterpoint is momentum is flipped to the downside now on the 2-week. 5-day momentum is also flipped to the downside, and the pivot's somewhere around that $121,000 area across the board for our high time frames. Telling you that once you reclaim $121,000, it's very likely going to zoom somewhere into the 130s. Despite all of the high time frame momentum still being up and being bullish, on the lower time frames, it is starting to flip down. It is starting to look like we are going to get somewhat of a pullback or consolidation at the very least from this zone here. And as long as we are holding that $114,000 area, my bias is to the upside to test somewhere around that 117 to 118 area. Start to lose $114,000 or get an hourly close below the 100 EMA, then I'm going to look at our current highs at about on this daily candle as our local top, and then from there I'm going to be looking for a retest of somewhere around our $111,000, $112,000 lows. And from there, a move into our all-time highs. The invalidation on the bullishness is going to be to get either a wick tick below about 98,330 or a weekly close below about. Let's do more accurate on the weekly. tick below 98,330 or a weekly close below about $105,000. Either one of those two things, and I'm going to be rethinking my bullish outlook and going to have to go back to the drawing board. Not exactly bear market just yet, but going to be shifting significantly more to the bear side. But as of now, I still have the bias that it will have a bullish resolving.
Very nice, senor. Thank you so much. Let me present my chart. I haven't done it. And let me tell you what's next, of course, because I haven't looked at this morning. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of motherfuck yous. All right.
It's a fun market this morning. I'll say that.
It is. It is a fun market. It's moving, right? It's letting us fucking do shit. We got Hood and FFAI. Oh yeah, we should check that. I want to see how my investment of 20 cents is doing.
I'm doing good in the hood.
All right, I'll do FFAI because
okay.
I forgot we gave a long trigger on this, didn't we? Huh. Wow. I did not alert me that it went to $2. That's a bummer. Well, we'll talk about it. Very interesting chart. This is one of my favorite meme charts that we look at, though.
Is it up still?
Oh yeah. I mean, it literally did the back test of $2, and then now it's up like 20%.
Hang on, let me see.
Hourly on Bitcoin is turning very beautiful now with the nice shooting star and rejection of the 100.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very nice. And the hourly on Bitcoin, what?
It's starting to lose that 100. Nice shooting star.
Yeah, you're actually deviating back within the channel. And the Academy short didn't hit the stop loss. Our stop was at 115,500. So there should be no excuse on anyone not being really short IMO.
Listen, there's 3 minutes to go on this candle. Are we closing below that red line or not? That's the EMA 100. Let's see. We got 3 minutes and 35 seconds. We got a lot of interesting price action. Actually, kind of identifying an SFB right here. If you put those together and do this, be a little serious. Kind of looks like that. This area, and there you go. 114 should be the area to hold. And
yeah, 114. Yeah, that's the spot. That's been like the spot bulls are defending with their absolute life. We keep round tripping shorts when we tap 114. So that tells me if you lose 114, yeah, this is probably going to start going down to that daily EMA 100.
Oh, that's an engulfing bearish candle, by the way, on the 30-minute. But on the 30-minute, you're above the 5. You're above the 200. Everything basically. The 5 is right here.
That's why for me, 114K. We can just lose that. I'll feel very comfortable. It'll just shift everything bearish.
What made me
go back?
What made me go into the long was the volatility on the 1 hour chart started to expand on the pump whenever the fuck. Oh, right. Was it right here? No. This is a different chart. 1 second. This is not my index chart.
Yeah, you and far and long yesterday made absolute sense to me. I was looking at the 12-hour giving me a long setup. I didn't have the balls to take it.
See, this is the range. I still don't understand how I figured this out. Why? Either way. So I set up and drew these. I'm just killing time until we get a minute and 40 seconds to close this candle and see. So we had the 119,900 right here. We have the 116, 117 basically. And then right here is the 114.
Oh, wow.
Like and literally I haven't come back to this chart. I knew this was not going to be touched because everyone was waiting for 111.
Yeah.
So once I started seeing this up and down, this is where I entered for that reason. Because I was like, nah, it's going to play everyone into here. And also you have a very simple invalidation.
So if you go to the 12-hour on your chart, we very well may not even take those lows. The bulls are just looking for the throwback on the 12-hour, the EMA 100. So max downside, I'd just be aware of that. I mean, I agree those lows may not even get tested again based on this 12-hour chart. Now, if we deviate that EMA 100, I'm going to feel really confident in these shorts. That kind of gives me confidence of your idea. If those lows don't get tested.
your plays that this actually is the SFP, and then we continue to go down.
Yeah, that would be great.
Well, that'd be fantastic for you. I know the trade that you're in. That would just be great. That'd be fantastic.
Yeah, the best thing that could happen.
It'd be very swell.
Yeah, exactly. Are we close on that 1 hour? Hang on a second. Let's see how many seconds we got. Are we going to close? Look at how fucky it's going to be.
Oh, yeah.
Let's see. 8 seconds, 7 seconds, 6 seconds. Come on.
Right
Come
back.
on.
Let me see here. Right
It
back.
goes below.
Yeah, right back under the meme channels. This, to me, is looking like a false breakout liquidity grab. Now we're watching for 115,000 to be flipped into resistance. So, not bad.
Wow. Very well played. And also, this went really well with my long. It's crazy that it was to the T. What the fuck?
It literally
this never happens.
You said I want a TP here at like 115.4, and then it just straight up went there. I was like, wow. Nice.
Crazy. Yeah. That's a coincidence. Nothing else, obviously. Not intelligence or anything that I'm able to do. That's awesome. Okay. So we're doing next. We said Hood and FFAI. All righty. Let's get to it, boys. Thank you. Bueno, acabamos de ver la gráfica de Bitcoin cerrar, la de 1 hora, es justamente lo que estamos viendo. ¿Y qué es lo que estábamos viendo exactamente? Tenemos esta línea roja que viene bajando por acá. Esta línea roja que ven es el EMA 100, que es nuestro promedio de 100 días, bueno, de 100 sesiones. En 1 hora son 100 horas, básicamente. Y lo que queríamos ver es si esto iba a cerrar esta vela topera, porque esta es una vela topera del libro, por arriba o por abajo. Esta vela topera va a ser confirmada abajo de 114,712. Y la pregunta es, ¿hasta dónde podríamos caer? ¿O se va a regresar esto y esta vela topera es mentira? Porque hay veces que estas velas toperas como esta no te dan un movimiento de verdad y lo que van es hacerte esto. Y es lo que vamos a analizar en la siguiente, en la siguiente abierta de sesión. Bueno, en el cierre de esta vela, más bien, para ponerlo de una manera en la que yo mismo lo pueda decir. ¿Qué les parece? Vamos a empezar nuestro análisis de Bitcoin desde la trimestral. Esto es ¿cómo se llama? Este es mi gráfico trimestral. Tenemos esta línea en los 100, es el índice de Bitcoin también para que lo tengan en mente. La razón por qué usamos índices tiene más datos que cualquier otra cosa. Este es nuestro gráfico trimestral en Bitcoin. Tenemos nuestro promedio del 5 en los 92. Nuestro promedio del 9 justamente en los 73,970, una zona bastante importante para el precio, y nuestro promedio del 21 en los $55,000, 34 está justamente acá en los $43,000, todos en orden, está haciendo altos, altos más altos, altos más altos, bajos más altos, todo perfecto. Además tienes volatilidad apuntando para arriba, expandiendo ante todo el precio, expandiendo también a la alza. Por ahora se está dando la vuelta a la volatilidad, pero recuerden, hasta que no cierre esta vela, que faltan todavía 1 mes y 27 días, no vamos a tener confirmación de este último movimiento. Este último movimiento todavía se puede dar la vuelta para arriba o para abajo. Tienes que esperar a cerrar la vela para poder saber dónde estás parado. Por eso también es difícil tradear las gráficas grandes de alta temporalidad como la trimestral, pero lo bonito de ello es, si hubieras apostado cada vez que viene a tocar el 5 trimestral, te hubieras hecho una lana absolutamente brutal en los Bitcoin por ahora. Así que importante notar eso. Vamos a ver rápido con el HPDR. También tenemos a Momentum apuntando a la alza en la trimestral. Eso es bastante bueno, con volatilidad empujando el precio hacia arriba, etcétera. Eso es bastante alcista. Vamos a ver. Denme 30 minutos que este gráfico toma su tiempo, brother. Toma su tiempo. Ok. Ahora, venimos por debajo de la media, estamos intentando retestear la media, no la retesteamos la media y nos rechaza. Y ahora, en teoría, por estar encima del área azul, tenemos un 62, un 67 punto, lo que sea, por ciento de probabilidades, pero es por ahí del 67%, de venir a esta media que está en los $164,000. Vamos a ver si se da. Siempre y cuando, una vez más, para mí esta es la línea en la arena deliciosa, siempre y cuando estemos arriba de 111, 154, tienes mucha más probabilidad de continuar a la alza que caer a la baja. Vámonos a la mensual, damas y caballeros. Mensual, recuerden, momentum apuntando para arriba, volatilidad está contrayendo en este momento, regresando una vez más a darnos otro setup del 15%. Todavía falta para cerrar esta vela 20 y tantos días, lo saben ustedes, 27 días, que es lo que es, 27 días y 9 horas, para que lo tengan presente. Así que volatilidad contrayendo, preparando un nuevo movimiento. Y en la mensual es importante entender esto. Siempre y cuando estemos encima de 113,700, que es la parte baja de la zona azul, tenemos más probabilidades de ir a buscar esta media en los $159,000, que está a casi 160 como la trimestral. Hay bastante confluencia en esa zona de precio. Y una vez más, volatilidad contrayendo. Ahora, pierdes los 113, tu siguiente zona a visitar van a ser los $99,900, por ahí de los 100. Pierdes los 100 y una vez más vas a visitar precios mucho más bajos, mucho más bajos. 2 semanas empezamos a ver a nuestra vela, a nuestra volatilidad apuntar a la alza. Y ahora, atentos, esta sesión todavía no cierra. Faltan 13 días y 9 horas, acaba de abrir básicamente. Esta fue la sesión pasada y en la sesión pasada que tuvimos, nada, es justamente cuando estaba entrando en ese 15%. Así que vamos a ver si se da. De continuar expandiendo ante esto, deberíamos de poder ir a testear la media que está en los $127,000. La zona no perder justamente acá son los 107,720. Para mí, una vez más, continúa siendo importantísimo el nivel de los $106,000. Un cierre semanal por debajo de los 107, 106, eso para mí me estaría empezando a indicar que esto se acabó. Que bueno, este ciclo de 4 años ha llegado al final de su ciclo de 4 años, si es que sigue aplicando, porque nadie tiene la respuesta hasta que pasa. Pero ahí está, depende de ti, de cómo lo veas. Semanal, tío, estamos también preparando un setup semanal potente, estamos con nuestra volatilidad en 5% y tenemos nuestro promedio ya también por debajo del 15%. En cuanto a esta volatilidad se dé, va a empezar a empujar la mensual, la de 2 semanas, la mensual y probablemente la trimestral, sea el lado que sea. Por ahora, en nuestro gráfico semanal, tenemos esta vela estilo toperona, tenemos esto, tenemos continuación. Yo aquí pondría atención a esta continuación bajista. ¿Por qué? Porque si tienes esta vela topera y tuviste este cierre literalmente acá en los 114, empiezas a darle más probabilidad a un ajuste y es por eso que en temporalidades bajas empezamos a ver objetivos a la baja. Primer objetivo aquí debería ser los 112, 151 y la pregunta es, ¿va a ser suficiente para llevarte estos mínimos que están en low, 111,900, básicamente. Hacer ese 112, 154 y que lo aguante sería bastante alcista. De no aguantarlo, tu siguiente objetivo van a ser los 108. Y si los 108, 109 no aguantan, ahí, damas y caballeros, es donde empezamos a pensar y cambiar nuestro análisis a voltear a otro lado, ¿ok? Porque empezaríamos a verlo ya muy bajista. 5 días. La media está justamente en los 113,800, una vez más, porque es muy importante los 114. Y estando ahí, justamente, debería de aguantar el precio. Si aguanta ahí o si se llega a ir hasta los 112,300, que es donde estaba el otro, estás creando un bajo más alto que este y eso debería de propulsarte mínimo de vuelta a donde está tu promedio del 5, que está en los 116,692. Más o menos por ahí es donde yo esperaría ser el siguiente corto. Pero eso soy yo, una vez más, yo no sé nada comparado con Alex y con Farhan, así que no sé ni por qué les estoy diciendo estas pendejadas de mis pensamientos. Estamos cayendo por debajo del promedio en la de 5 días. Esto que nos dice que volatilidad está contrayendo, pero también tenemos que esperar que cierre esta vela. Acaba de abrir, entonces faltan 4 días y 9 horas para la de 5 días. 2 días es la que pone también volatilidad nula. Perfecto, se prepara un cero potente. En la de 5 días tenemos nuestro promedio, en la de 2 días tenemos nuestro promedio del 34 en los 111, 144. Por ahora estamos cotizando en 114,900. Nuestro siguiente objetivo acá debería de ser 116, 200, 200, que es más, esa es mi zona y también los 116,900 entre este promedio del 9 y del 5 es donde yo esperaría que haya un rechazo. ¿Por qué? Porque si quito el HPDR sin hacerles tanto pedo, honestamente, a esto, se van a poder dar cuenta de que habíamos pintado este rango la semana pasada. Y este rango al aguantar, es por eso que yo hice mi long acá y tenía mi take profit en los 115, por ahí de la zona de los 115,500 que acabo de básicamente se acaba de activar y ya estoy fuera del trade, no tengo ningún trade, saqué eso con Solana y con este. Fue simplemente por esto, por este canal. Dije, 1, todo el mundo está esperando los 111, no se los va a dar. 2, está aguantando y está regresando por acá, eso es bastante bueno, va a aguantar perfectamente. Y estamos por encima de esta línea meme en los 114. Los 114 eran una zona muy importante para mí. Este es un rango dividido en básicamente 2 zonas, pero es un rango total, ¿ok? El rango total llega hasta acá en los 113,900. Abajo de los 113,900, si no es un SFP, va a ser caída. Si es un SFP, debería llevarte a esta parte alta del rango, que está en los 117 casi, 116,900. Y lo que yo esperaría es, si tuviste un breakdown aquí, que es lo que estamos viendo literalmente, chopeo, 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 breakdown, chopeo, deberíamos de tener que, esta es tu primera zona de breakdown, mínimo tienes que venir a retestearlo acá. Esta es la zona dorada. Si este corto funciona, este corto te va a funcionar hasta para acá abajo, en mi opinión. Ahora, si llegas a romper los 116,900 a la alza, vas a regresar a esta parte alta, a los 119,900. Y acá podrías quedarte otra vez chopeando. Una vez que cierres por encima de esta parte, vas a ir a buscar nuevos máximos históricos. No está tan difícil, honestamente, el precio de Bitcoin. También en la diaria, en la de 2 días tienes nula volatilidad. En la diaria tenías volatilidad expandiendo ante esta subida, pero está como frenándose en estos momentos, lo pueden ver por acá. Ahora vamos a necesitar esto, falta todavía de aquí al fin de sesión, que son como 8 horas, 9 horas, ¿cuántas son? 8 horas. De aquí al cierre de sesión para ver cómo cierra. Y también tienes aquí arriba 115,800 tu 21 y en los 116 tu promedio del 9. Ponérselas bastante fácil. Esto podría ser considerado una consolidación alcista todavía en Bitcoin, a mi gusto, a menos de que rompas los 111, sigues en una tendencia alcista. Esto simplemente es lo que hace Bitcoin antes de un movimiento agresivo a la alza. Normalmente, siempre se los he dicho, cuando veo la bandera que va para abajo después de un movimiento alcista como lo que tuvimos acá, eso es bastante bueno para mí. Nada más la cosa va a ser asegurarme de no llevarme los 111,700 para que todos ustedes lo tengan. Básicamente 119,900, el nivel de en medio 116,900, el nivel de abajo donde está el S&P 113,800, 847. Y pueden ver acá en las sesiones, esto es lunes, esto es domingo, esto es sábado. Esta línea estaba puesta antes, no tengo idea por qué el viernes, y vieron el retesteo de esta zona. Esta zona es muy importante aguantar, 114. Pierdes 114 el día de hoy, vas para abajo. Aguantas los 114, deberías de ir a 116 mínimo y si te va bien, a los 117. Y de ahí, rompiendo los 117, podrías buscar los 120. Así que no hay que buscarle tantas patas al gato. Está bastante fácil esto en los Bitcoin y los voy a llevar a la dominancia de Bitcoin en este momento que empieza a parecer que se ve bajista, pero acabas de hacer este alto, altos más altos, aunque estés cayendo. O sea, agresivamente hablando de esta tabla, agresiva como un esposo golpeador, puedes ver acá que estás en una literalmente tendencia bastante fuerte alcista de la recuperación de esto. Ahora, esta es diaria. Vas a tener que aguantar el promedio del 9 para continuar y esto te haría rebotar. Tu primera zona a retestear importante va a ser este SMA 200 en la diaria en el 62,77%. Puedes pasar esta zona, vas a ir a la media justamente acá en el 64% y ya de ahí podemos platicar objetivos. Pero por ahora, y no creo que les tenga que decir yo, no hay alt season, la están viendo ustedes en todos lados, no existe esa cosa. Y pues va a haber continuación en esto. Y ahí tienen, damas y caballeros, sus Bitcoin. Alex, what are you doing, sir? FFAI.
Yeah.
Okay, 1 second. FFAI. All right, give me some good news. Tell me how rich I'm going to become with my $20 bet.
Let's take a look at this. One of my favorite charts to look at. Because, sometimes we just get the most terrible charts, but this is actually not the worst.
Yep.
We talked about and identified a potential pullback. We understood that pullback could easily take us back to that daily EMA 100, which was sitting right around $2. Nice psychological number. This is still a major zone for me. Now, the idea was that this pullback would lead to a nice spring giving us a nice bullish reaction. So far, we've had a nice bullish reaction. Let me delete the Picasso represented here. We were identifying this low as our invalidation. Understood that the risk was kind of wide here, 14, almost 15%. But with these charts, often give you major volatility. So for me now, I'm watching this to really mark a local bottom, and I need it to confirm by us getting back above the daily EMA9. If we can do this, then I'll be very confident that what we have seen is just a back test, a throwback of the EMA 100. We also retested support right at $2, solidifying it being support. And then I'm going to be going here. Let's check the weekly. And this was the reason on our long. It was the weekly chart. We identified a high. Often with these highs, you get higher lows. People then start longing up here. For me, the only place that was screaming a logical place to position was right at $2. You had the EMA 21 sitting there on the weekly. You also had the 9 sitting there with the meme line. This wick high showed us that this was very solid resistance. We need to see this flipped into support. So today, yes, it's potentially going to confirm a local bottom on that daily EMA 9 reclaim. Let's see if the HBDR can tell us anything else. No, nothing. Nothing on the daily really either. And the objective now is simply this. You need to understand that the daily isn't a downtrend. The way we can shift this back up is first getting back above the daily 9 and then taking out this high. July 31st wick high is kind of the objective to take out. We can start taking that out. I do think it's going to lead to a breakout, because the idea now is if we go back to, let's go to a 2-week, right? We understood that this 2 weeks actually very bullish. First time where we're getting back above the EMA 9. This also is giving us a volatility setup, or almost gave us a volatility setup. But the point is that this is the lowest volatility read on the 2-week that we've had. So when I look at a chart like this is why I wanted to do business right at $2. It just seemed like a nice spot. Let's see where that 5 is. The 5 also is giving us confluence of that region. And where could the next zone be if, let's say, bulls do solidify a local bottom? Well, for me, we talked about first, we need to obviously get above, July's high, this wick high rejection here. If we can get back above this high, I mean, this chart really does just end up squeezing up from this point. I don't think it's stupid to say that if we can actually hold above the daily 9, you are brewing a move back to around $17, $18. So, this is still looking very bullish to me. This chart's looking great. You have volatility supporting this idea of a major move. You're above the monthly 5. Haven't been above that in a very long time. And remember, this chart was once trading at $2,000. So it's at $2 now. We easily can squeeze up. And what was giving me confidence as well of a move up was simply reclaiming the 5. Let me delete this now. You can just, mentally look at this one more time. I'm going to delete this. And I'm going to delete this as well. We're looking at this being a reclaim. Perfect. Reclaim support as well. And this gives me implications of a move all the way to that monthly 9. Now, we talked about this monthly 9 being at $26, pretty insane. So then we can just look at the 2-week. Trading view is pretty slow today. And the 2-week, you're even seeing, the 21 technically is the next target as long as you stay above the 9. So it really doesn't seem absurd to say that $18 is coming up. It's just going to be dependent on taking out this high. So taking out, the high of July will then give me really good confidence to keep doing that. You're in a valid breakout. Yes, all eyes on this high here. But overall, I'll be looking at this as just a higher low, and we're potentially getting that higher high breakout. This chart to me is bullish. You don't want to get blindsided of that. It's going to be really dependent on us holding above $2. But as long as you do hold above $2, generally that's just been really bullish for FFAI. So, GG for anyone who positioned on that $2. The idea literally was that okay, you're in an uptrend, you had a topping candle, most likely you do get that pullback. Is the pullback really bearish? Well, I mean, if we can hold $2, then yes. I mean, that's just what occurred here. You lost $2. That just led down for multiple days. Actually 3 months almost. So this is looking like a spring. There should be no reason now why the daily EMA 9 doesn't get reclaimed. And if that doesn't get reclaimed, that is going to be a cause of concern. You get a move all the way down to $2, moves all the way up. And if it can't get above the daily 9, I'm going to be looking at that as a questionable rally. And specifically, if you're not taking out this high. Remember, we talked about this. July 31st high needs to be taken out on the daily for you to actually feel confident of this being a breakout. So, yeah, good job on anyone who positioned here. Overall, great move. We're up 20%, but I don't think that it's going to stop here. I do want to really watch carefully this daily 9, and you can just see we lost it, rejected, came all the way down. So if we get back above the daily 9, yeah, this will really solidify a nice bottom for me. Similar to here, where we lost the daily 9, rejected, reclaimed it, obviously chopped. This formed your, bullish structure. Once you got back above here, you essentially held it as support. Off the daily 9, you've seen nice moves. This one gave you a 34%. So I'm trying to get another example here. You stayed under all major moving averages until you got the nice busting action move. We'll just, from this point, I mean, you went up almost 200%. Here, this was, a failure, but still, from this point, we did end up going up 15%. Close, went up, rejected, dumped. The point I'm trying to bring home is that, yes, you've gotten a 20% move, but really that's not that much for this chart. I need to see confirmation of first the daily 9 getting reclaimed, taking out July 31st high. Then I'll be on the camp. Yeah, this is definitely bottomed. And then I'm going to be looking for any move to just put in bullish structure, maybe a price divergence before going up. Or you get the easy trade, and this literally will just spring all the way up to first $4. That $3.60 break this high. Yeah, I mean, nothing's going to stop it from going up to here. And when you have a chart so sold down, that was once trading in the multi-$1,000 level, I mean, these squeezes do happen. They do occur. I mean, you have massive inefficiencies. What would this be if we got a major squeeze up? Well, wouldn't you just be looking at this as a bi-monthly bearish retest, maybe a massive range here? Yeah, definitely. But that doesn't mean that you can't trade the range. And especially if you've identified this, that's absurd. That's literally absurd. You throw $1,000 here, and if this does play out, what isn't that like $10,000? I mean, I'm not really good at math, but I think so.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's absurd. So I'm still looking at this as one of my favorite charts. I'm looking at this as like a meme stock, but this is one of my favorite charts because there is legitimate bullish arguments to be had on this. So I want to keep seeing the monthly 5 hold. I don't know why that got turned off. I want to keep seeing $2 hold. And for me now, we really should not see, let me clean this up a bit. We really, in my opinion, shouldn't see this low get taken out. So there should be no reason we come back all the way down to here. If you do that, I do think it's going to brew a breakdown to the SMA 200, where then you might get a bounce. But again, we haven't seen bullish price action under $2. You just don't. So generally, when you lose $2, you just go right to the next zone at $1.56. So, just use that as your criteria. Pretty cool though that this chart literally played out exactly how we wanted it. Now let's just see if we can actually break away from here. If this does end up going to $18 in the next month, I'm going to be like, damn, I wish TradingView would have alerted me because I did want to position here. I won't now, right? There's no reason to position here. Rather, let's wait for this trend shift, bid the daily 9, maybe the EMA 21. You get your bullish structure. I can use this as my stop now, and maybe we get another setup like this. Better risks, instead of 15%, now you're dealing with maybe 9%. If you did position at $2, I would be looking at this as you can easily slap this break even. If you don't reclaim the daily 9, cause of concern, watch the 21 then. But yeah, if you did position at this level, you have a really nice buffer to know where you're wrong. Because, we'll just, again, go to the 10-day, why not? And this is just like looking like it's trying to, I don't know why I keep doing that. It just looks to me like on the 10-day, it's really trying to SR flip here, trying to grind out bullish, just maybe a higher low here. That's why it's going to be really important to take out this high. So overall, very, very good chart. This isn't a 10-day buy trigger for me. And I want to see a move up to at least $3.50. Take this high out. Yeah, I don't see why we're not going to move to $17, especially when you see volatility on the weekly, 2-week, 10-day. This is the first setup you've ever gotten in the history of this chart. It actually started to fire off on this move in June. So this is legitimately breaking out. You've had no other occurrence of this low volatility ever. And that's why I really don't think it's absurd to have these targets. So yeah, that's all I have on this chart. 10-day, though, that's a very interesting view, especially with volatility. Because, right, if we're talking about an 800% move, but let's say volatility is at extremes, it's not giving you setups, yeah, then maybe this isn't going to do what we want it to do. But it's literally volatility is primed for this. You are legitimately getting buy triggers on all higher time frame. Even the monthly is giving you one. And the 2 weeks now confirmed breaking above the moving average. So yeah, wish I really would have bought this at $2. Because we mapped it out, we talked about that, but that's how it's fine. It is.
That's how it fucking goes. It always does. Yeah. And then and by the way, I'm in, right? But let's say it really goes to $17. I'm gonna be like, why did I put more money into it? It's always like it's never enough.
As we say in Mexico, así es.
I did not see that coming. I gotta say, I did not see that coming. Like a porn star that lost an eye. All right, let's get to it. UPS for you, sir, right after.
Oh, all right, cool. We'll check that out.
You gotta see how the shipping industry is doing. Let's see how those guys are doing, huh?
Okay. Let's see how they're doing. Not doing very good.
They should not be doing very good. Exactly. Thank you.
Yeah.
Ok, estamos viendo FFAI, que es Faraday Friday Intelligent Electric. Esta es una mamada. Es una empresa de coches eléctricos. Honestamente, es una acción de meme. No tiene nada más que esto. Pero hemos estado viendo, ¿no? Viene por cierto, esta cosa. Me da esta cosa ajustarlo por esto. Esta es una de esas acciones que viene literalmente desde un precio completamente estúpido. Viene desde los $2,000 y está cotizando en $2, ¿ok? Literalmente 1,000 veces menos. Pero, por ahora, viendo esta tabla, lo que les queremos enseñar es lo siguiente. Básicamente irnos a la diaria. Ahí es la mejor zona para poder entender lo que estamos viendo. TradingView anda lento, cabrones. No nos quiere hacer ningún favor el día de hoy. Ahí está. Ok. Puesto sencillo, lo que hemos estado notando es, estamos en una tendencia alcista y puse esa línea súper mal, un segundo. Ok. Estamos viendo esto. Un segundo, continúa haciendo esta línea mal. Perfecto. Me quito de volatilidad. Excelente. Bien hecho, Alejandro. Ahí estás, idiota. Bien. Siempre y cuando estemos por encima de esta línea, continuamos en esta trayectoria alcista donde encontramos lo que parece ser un fondo en los 81 centavos, que fue 82 centavos. Y desde entonces esto ha subido 8 por 3, 24, 3, ha hecho un 3X al día de hoy y ha hecho un 5X desde ese fondo hasta acá arriba, a los 3.55. Nada mal, honestamente, es una de estas acciones que te está regalando dinero. Ahora, lo que estamos viendo es que de acá que habías hecho bajos, bajos más bajos, bajos más bajos, toda la tabla, por primera vez estás haciendo bajos más altos. Y ahora, además de todo, tienes todos los promedios cruzando aquí atrás junto con un cruce plateado a la alza. Desde entonces también nunca habías estado, o hace no sé cuánto tiempo no había estado por arriba del S&P 200 y el EMA 100. El 200 es el morado y el EMA 100 es el rojo. Y ahora estamos apoyándonos acá después de haber tenido este breakout. Venimos a retestear el promedio del 100 que aquí nos había hecho un SFP. Venimos a retestearlo y aquí es donde deberíamos de explotar a la alza. Y es justamente lo que estamos viendo, si podemos acercar esto un poco más. Un poco más de análisis técnico en diferentes temporalidades va a ser un poco innecesario acá porque esto es lo que lleva la pauta de todo el juego, ¿ok? Y ahorita voy a agregar un par de cosas más. Pero por ahora, FFAI debería de ir a buscar mínimo el promedio del 9 en los 2.51. De poder romper este promedio del 9 a la alza y hacer que esto haya sido un SFP a la baja, tomas el promedio del 9, agárralo y vas para arriba, vas a romper este máximo de acá. Pero del otro lado, el problema sería perder este nivel de los $2. Pierdes los $2 y puedes decir, esto fue todo, gracias por todo el mundo que se metió desde el fondo en los 80 centavos y vendió en los 3.20, un 8X, feliz, no, un 8 por 3, 24, 8 por 5, no sé cuántos X sean, pero, perdón, es muy temprano, señores. 8 de la mañana, Putin. Y si ya hicieron ese trade y eso funcionó perfecto, perfecto, perdiste los $2, esto va para abajo. Pero de aguantar esta zona y poder levantarte por encima del promedio del 9 en los 2.51 en la diaria, eso te debería catapultar a tu siguiente nuevo máximo local. Déjenme pongo la de 2 días también para ver si tenemos algo escondido por ahí. 2 días estamos justo ante nuestro promedio del 55, es esa línea naranja que viene, pero falta encargar todas las demás. Denle 30 minutos a este pedo. Ahí está. Estamos por encima de nuestro promedio del 9 en la de 2 días. Veniste a retestear el 21, hiciste un front run muy, muy, muy rico y explotaste a la alza. Estás por encima del promedio del 9 en la de 2 días. Esto es muy alcista y estás peleándote justamente con tu promedio del 55 en los 2.37. Tu promedio del 5 está en los 2.50. 2.50 va a ser la zona mágica a romper y me veo la semanal. No, no la mensual, por el amor de Dios. Bueno, la mensual estás por encima del promedio del 9. La semanal pueden ver acá. Agarramos el promedio del 9, agarramos el promedio del 5, agarramos el promedio del 21 que venía desde allá arriba, que no lo habíamos tomado desde hace un rato, y continuamos por encima de todas esas metas. La de 2 semanas y vean esta vela, hija de su puta madre. Por eso decimos, abajo de los $2 también confirmarías esta vela. Esta vela súper topera, súper topera del libro. Entonces, por ahora ve cómo continúas. Vas a ir a buscar un objetivo por encima de los 360. Al romper los 360 vas a tener aire limpio a los 449. 449 para arriba te va a llevar a los 738 y de ahí puedes seguir poniendo tus objetivos chaquetos. Pero simplemente aguantando, volteándola a ver en la diaria. En realidad la de 2 días me gusta más. Denle 50 minutos a este pedo. Dude, Trading View, come on, help a brother out. Denle 2 horas. Ahí está. Sí, en la de 2 días estamos por encima del 9. Esto va a cerrar en 4 horas y 26 minutos, por cierto. Tenemos este cierre por arriba de 237, por encima del 55. Va a ser la primera señal de que vas a ir a buscar un cierre por encima de 250. Cierres por arriba de 251. Vámonos a retestear estos máximos. Pierdes los $2, que también es tu promedio del 21 en la de 2 días, y vas para abajo. Así de fácil. Hay veces que es más fácil poder entender lo que está haciendo un precio que otros, y este es uno de esos, donde lleva una buena tendencia alcista a corto plazo, y esperamos aprovechar que sea el auge de las acciones de meme, etcétera, que todo el mercado esté en verde en todos lados, bonito, todo el mundo está emocionado. Vimos al VIX también, denle 50 minutos a esto para cargar. Les dije, el VIX no había pasado mi hermosa línea por acá y fue un rechazo para volverte a tirar. Ahí lo tienen, damas y caballeros, eso es FFIAI. Vamos con... What the
Good
fuck
in
was
the
it?
hood.
Oh,
Always good in the hood.
The hood.
And of course, the one that I deleted for this was hood from my little stupid signs. So fuck me, right?
It's because you have very little care for those with socioeconomic issues.
Well,
Elitist.
can I also say something? That's not wrong. No.
Hey, I can't argue with that.
Or, you know what? You know who the real G's are? I go to the beach now really early in the mornings to do my walks, right? Like a very old person or a woman after menopause. And when I'm doing this, there's so many young, like mostly are females, but there's a few guys, but mostly girls that are like probably between 16 and 20, and they're picking up trash in the morning. And they're not Instagramming it. They're not doing any of that shit. Those are the real G's. The pieces of shit that help the homeless and show it on a video, those people might be and that's a simple trick. If you see a friend of yours or whoever you love and follow help a homeless person on a video, that person is the biggest piece of shit in the universe. I promise you.
Camera. They're holding the camera
absolutely.
around the homeless person. It's
Like,
cringe.
you want this
Yeah.
help, you want this food, you gotta film my content for me.
Dance, monkey, dance.
That's nice though. Those people picking up garbage. Those are the
There's
real,
Yeah.
honestly.
There's a Instagram account that basically does that. That goes around to homeless people or poor people and records content, just like giving them shit. And there's another guy who made a parody about that, and he's like throwing pies in people's face and says, "Kindness wins."
Or the trend now is you go to a restaurant, local, mom and dad shop, and you're like, oh yeah, I need 50 orders of wings. They're like, oh, what for? Oh, I'm feeding the homeless. You're filming it, and they don't want to be like, seen as not being nice, so they'll just be kind of forced to give it to you for free. That's kind of
Oh, what fucking pieces of shit. Fuck
Yeah.
everyone. They show up to my place, be like, here you go, sir. It's $9.99. Thank you very much. Whatever the fuck it was. It's your problem if you're going to do this. I hate people so much.
Yeah, because they don't want to
with
be
the
like,
camera.
Yep.
oh my god.
They show the business's name, so if they were to say no, they'd probably get some internet backlash.
You know what? So what?
Yeah.
I don't know. Everyone's such a fucking pussy now. Everyone's pussified about like, you're acting like you're all motherfucking famous and your reputation online matters. Get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here. Yeah. I mean, this is obviously a system built on purpose so that everyone acts like that based on fear. And now when Karen gets mad at you for driving faster than her, she pulls out her phone and he's going to tell on you while filming you. I'm going to show people what you're doing. Okay.
That's why I love trading, because I mean, you can't really cancel the market. Like the market's not going to cancel me. I can make money no matter how terrible or racist, or I can be whatever I want.
Yeah.
Nobody's opinion matters.
No.
And that's what also, by the way, that's another big negative for everyone that they don't understand. People a lot of times now they dog me and they're like, you had all these YouTube channels and you're a fucking failure because you couldn't keep them up, whatever. It's like, you don't understand. I can say whatever the fuck I want without y'all bitches fucking trying to cancel me anymore.
Yeah.
I'm winning at this because I got the money already.
Either. Like you don't just do your job. Maybe they're gonna fire me. Maybe my income's gonna be taken away.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
There's nothing literally uncancelable. Like literally impossible. Unless they close my bank account and fucking throw me away from the world, then yeah, fuck me, right? But other than that, you can do it all, son. Do it all.
Yeah, you don't have to go to every single one of those manufacturers and take that $300,000 Mustang and suck their dick and say it's a good car.
Dude, people made videos on the Jaguar with the fucking gay ass campaign and said that was really cool. How pathetic are those guys?
Everyone was paid to say that.
That was a really terrible campaign.
And dude, fucking like he literally got ousted from the company. Like he finished it. Like it was obvious as fuck. And all these idiots had to say that he was nice because that's what they say. And by the way, the same thing happens. If you go get a car from someone, the brand will call that someone if whoever loaned them. Let's say I go to Farhan because Farhan has a Ferrari. And I make a video of a Ferrari with Farhan's Ferrari, the brand will call Farhan. Ferrari will call Farhan and be like, why'd you loan your car to that person? We're never going to give you another car unless you tell that person to take down the video. Where's free speech anymore?
Yeah.
It's done. And by the way, that applies on everything. So anyone thinking that you can say whatever you want online, you can't. You're a bunch of pussies because you can't. And you're all afraid of getting canceled for saying the wrong thing with your 39 fucking 100 followers. Get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here. Go outside. Get some sun, motherfuckers. Eat some steak. Sorry.
Some prime advice.
And drink water. Drink water too.
Drink fucking drink water, a lot of water. And also don't go out there and film fucking homeless people receiving money. You fucking pieces of shit. That's it.
It's wild how most people can't see that you're just making them dance like monkeys.
Yeah.
I know. It's really sad.
So we're getting to the hood. Many socioeconomic problems in the hood. But
Which is what brought us here, by the way, in the first place. Yes.
So we have gotten a monthly close of our IPO all-time highs. We are kind of consolidating right around that 100% range on the HPDR, while the ranges are trying to step up. This is the most bullish outcome that or possible, is that the HPDR ranges step up while the price consolidates and moves up. It's very bullish to see not even a little bit of a pullback to that 5 EMA. And as long as we're holding over this 50%, especially over this candle's close at about $103, it's likely going to just consolidate and continue going up and not really getting any pullback at all. Once you start to lose somewhere around about $95, that's where it opens up the possibility into a more deeper pullback, somewhere around this 38.2%, and this meme line around that 80-ish to $85 zone. But as long as we're holding this 50%, I wouldn't be looking for that to happen. I'd be looking for the 5 EMA to be dragged up into price action. Right now, momentum is pointed to the downside on the monthly, with volatility also contracting. Hopium is that volatility is contracting. But it's interesting to see momentum flip to the downside while price is continuing to make new highs. All that's really doing now is putting in possible hidden bullish divergence by taking out all of these lows, and price is making a significantly higher low. Not even really a higher low, because it's not even pulling back. It's putting in a hidden bullish divergence with no pullback. Pretty crazy to see that. And the confirmation of the divergence would be a close over about all-time highs, about $113.44. But that would give you a target roughly right around that 100% zone, again, somewhere between the 97.5 and the 100, where we've been topping out every single time in the past. And that sits at about $140, $150. Still a very decent sized move from where we are right now. And the confirmation for that, once again, is closing over that previous all-time high, 113.44. That would be how much of a move up? Let's see, just curious. So still like a 25% move up. I'm not sure. Do they have hood on BTCC?
Let me check 1 second.
Excuse me. The monthly jewel is now starting to curve around too and giving you a confirmed buy signal. 2 week pointed to the downside currently on momentum. Volatility is contracting. Likely somewhat consolidation here. Right now, we are kind of front running that 5 EMA, and as long as we are holding over about $97, I do think we're just going to consolidate in this zone, and while the HPDR ranges step up and then try again to the upside. Once you lose $97, and then very likely you're going to get it move into that 80 zone, 85 to 88 zone.
So I got an update for you. There is hood in BTCC.
Muy based.
Very based.
And that $85
Tesla was the easy short today.
Yeah, we had posted that on the Academy, I think on Friday, I think it was.
I think so.
And right now on 2 week, we are rejecting the 100% zone, but we aren't really getting much of a pullback. Can't even tap the 5 EMA. And as long as we're holding over $97, it's very likely just going to consolidate here. But what lines up with that $85 zone is this 2-week 9 EMA and this meme line, basically to a T. So if we lose that $97 zone, very, very likely at a minimum, we're going to come down here. And whether we're bullish or bearish, I do think we're going to bounce from here and go into this 5 EMA. If we're bearish, probably going to reject that 5 and then come down to the 21, right around this 38.2%. And this, if we get it, I do think is going to be the opportunity zone. That's going to be a nice size pullback from the current all-time highs, almost like 40% down, getting to a very significant support area at this 21 EMA where we bottomed at basically every time before, and this 38.2%. Your stop would be this wick low. It's a little deep, and you'd want to be careful with the leverage, but the risk reward is IMO pretty good because it's 56%, yeah, but you have like 100% to the upside, so it's still 2 to 1. But this is what you don't want to use leverage for, because even a 2x and you're wiped out on that stop loss. I guess if you want to use a more smaller stop loss, which wouldn't be as of a surefire one, you could use this one here. This wouldn't be as bad. It's still pretty bad. Probably a better idea to just wait until the local bottom is confirmed rather than chase it. On the weekly, you're also starting to flip down on momentum. Volatility is contracting, telling you likely a higher low. And right now, you're starting to get the first signs of a God mode sell signal, starting to shift into the dark blue. But in the background, you do have the pink going over the yellow, which is a more overall bullish signal. So based on momentum and volatility contracting with the God mode signal, likely somewhat of a pullback into a higher low, and then another try at the current highs. Right now, the HPDR ranges have stepped up a good amount, still not as much as I would like to see. Maybe another week or two of consolidation before they can step up, and then another test into the 110 zone, I think. 5-day, basically same setup as the weekly. 2-day getting also flip down on momentum, getting right to that reset zone, very close to putting in hidden bullish divergence, with volatility now approaching extreme lows, approaching 0%. And the jewel's giving you a very bearish signal right now. The pink is crossing just about across below the yellow. You're getting God mode background, dark blue. That is very bad. Let's mark this with a vertical line. I'm just curious to see what type of results this produces on hood. I guess this is the equivalent of crack going into the hood. This jewel signal.
That's funny.
Sorry, I'm a retard. Yeah, that was good, and this will be the last one. That is about, what, 13%, 12.6%? Not really much, 4.8%, but it is a stock, so got to give it some slack. 7.4%, not bad. This one is a lot more respectable. 25%, 40%, 49%. And as of now, from the open, 4.5%. Not really that much at all. Let's take it somewhere around that 7% area, 7 to 8%, lines right up with about $80, $90. I wonder how much the meme line is. About 12%. See, 20% brings us to about 77. And I wonder where that 60-ish% area is. Roughly about 30-ish%. 20 to 30% was the move that we saw initially before the bounce and then further dump on this setup. So that would line up with somewhere around that $60 to $70 zone. 2 days, however, getting back over that median, and what's going to confirm this as a local bottom is going to be closing over that 109.06 area. That'll put in hidden bullish divergence, confirm this as a local bottom, and then we're not even going to test that 80 zone, probably just going to blast off from there. You'll know in about 4 hours and 10 minutes. Daily is now starting to flip up on momentum. That's interesting to see. Gives more bias towards that 2-day setup playing out. Is it putting in daily? Is putting in bullish divergence as well? That's also very nice to see, with volatility now at extreme lows. However, on the opposite hand, the jewel is giving you a sell signal with the pink below the yellow. We want to see if that the regular bullish divergence does confirm. That will invalidate that jewel signal, and that will very likely give us targets of new all-time highs, at the very least retesting our current all-time highs. But I'm biased towards new all-time highs, sitting somewhere around that 88.3%, which is at like $120-ish. 4 hours also right at that make or break zone, with momentum at the reset zone, price at the median, volatility sitting right at 0%. We want to see is either a close over the median or a rejection from the median. If we get a close over that median, then very likely you're going to get a nice move up with 4-hour volatility, confirming your daily bullish divergence, sending you up to new highs. And we have already seen the 4-hour HP data ranges completely step up now. This is what we're looking to happen on the higher time frames, to have these ranges step up and have price action trading within the 38.2% again. This gives you a lot more room to move to the upside and the downside. No high time frame divergences. Damn, this thing really is escaping all of the bearish divergences. I got you here. Hood. There's a monthly 2-week bearish divergence. You got a high right here, lower high, higher high on price. To confirm it, though, you would need to close below this wick low, which is at about $93.36. That'd give you an easy target of that 9 EMA at about $85. Next target is that 21 at that $65 zone. And here, no divergence. Daily's got many drives of bearish divergence. You're going to be active as long as you're closing below $104.59. And in the invalidation of that daily bearish divergence will confirm daily bullish divergence. And that will send you up towards about the simple moving average at about $112, not really that much higher. And then the next target is, what do you know, $152, right along that 100% on the HPDR. 4 hours now about to put in a fresh drive of bullish divergence, and will confirm with any close over about $101.60. That'll give you an easy target of the bullish control zone, which right now is at about 108. And considering how low volatility is at extreme lows, we would also have to consider the critical zone, and that level is sitting at about $133. Now we go to momentum. There's upwards momentum in the hood. We're making it out of the hood.
Are we going to be making it? Are we?
On the monthly, we are freshly flipping up on momentum, putting in hidden bullish divergence. Very interesting to see price just continuing to go vertical and making hidden bullish divergence at the same time. Hidden bullish divergence usually comes from pullbacks. Very funny to see that. And momentum is going to be pointed up as long as we're closing over $70, let's say $74. 2 week. This is Vlad's payment for turning off the buy button on GME. Wall Street is pumping the fuck out of his stock. On the 2-week, we're also still flipped to the upside. However, we're very close to flipping down, and volatility is at extremes now, giving us the double extreme. And we will flip down if we close below about $107.25. Although I wouldn't really look at that as anything too bad or negative to flip down, as long as we're holding over that 5 EMA. More likely that we're just going to consolidate and coil up and spring from there. Lose the 5 EMA, then you're going to get a deeper pullback to somewhere around that 21 most likely. And this 21 is also going to slowly rise. Weekly is already flipped to the downside, giving you volatility contraction now from the double extreme. And you're going to be flipped down as long as you're closing below about $109. But same idea with the weekly, as long as you're holding that 5 EMA, you shouldn't really be looking for lower. 5 days, same thing as the weekly, basically same exact idea. 2 days fully reset on volatility now back at extreme lows. Momentum flipped to the downside, still in the bullish control zone, and it's going to be flipped down as long as you're closing below $108.65, $109. And now 2 days putting in possible hidden bullish divergences by taking out these lows, prices making a higher low, and you'd have to close over 109.06 to confirm that. And the first target from there would be somewhere around 122 to 123, based off that RSI bullish control zone. Daily is also now at extreme lows on volatility, very, very close to getting volatility expansion now, with momentum still flipped to the downside, about to enter into the bearish control zone, and it will be flipped down below 106.80, 107. So right around the zone where if it doesn't reject, or if it rejects here, this downwards momentum would take us down towards somewhere around $85. Fail to reject here though, and then this volatility is going to apply to the upside. 4 hour also freshly flipped down. That's interesting to see, with 4 hour volatility going into an expansion phase. 4 hours is going to be flipped down as long as we're closing below $106.60. 106, very important area. Now 2 hours freshly flipped up. Pivot is at about $99 with volatility expansion. I want to confirm with some lower time frames. We also flipped up, reclaimed all of our major EMAs. That's interesting to see. Hour, and then daily with the bullish divergence. All right, going to the monthly now. On the high time frame, starting with the monthly on hood, it is looking extremely bullish. It's literally just going straight up and putting in hidden bullish divergences at the same time while it's just going straight up. I rarely ever see price action not even put much of a pullback and put in hidden bullish divergence. Like, you're putting in pullbacks from the open to the low of about less than 5%, and taking out previous momentum lows. I don't see that on even shit coins. I don't know how a stock is doing that, with volatility sitting at pretty high extremes, and still it's continuing to new all-time highs. It's got a massive United States pattern on the monthly as well. All of the low time frames are now starting to flip up, with the medium-term time frames are down, low ones are starting to flip up, with volatility now sitting at extreme lows. The very, very low time frames are flipping up. The 4 hour, which is not as low of a time frame, but still a low time frame, is flipped down, and that the extreme low time frames, like the 2 hour and the 1 hour, make it very likely that's going to bleed into the 4 hour to flip up, which is going to bleed into the daily, and then daily has possible bullish divergence. 4 hour is also about to confirm the bullish divergence. That'll bleed into the 2 days hidden bullish divergence, bleeding into the 5 day, bleeding into the weekly. And the invalidation right now is getting a 4 hour close below about $97. If that happens, then you're very likely going to move down to somewhere around 85, probably bounce from there. And unless that bounce takes you back over $100, very likely going to go to somewhere around $65. But right now, my bias is somewhat of a consolidation in this zone here. Maybe another retest of somewhere around $100 to $97, and then move into confirming the 4 hour divergence, and move into somewhere around 122.
Beautiful, senor. Thank you so much. And then right after this, we're going to do... Buenos días, Leandro. MPU.
MPU. My penis huge.
Yes. There you go. Always. Ok. Robinhood, básicamente una de esas empresas que está tokenizando todas sus acciones. Ellos son un broker de acciones y criptos también, y lo que están haciendo es tokenizando todo, por lo que están teniendo un mega pump del tamaño del mundo. Ramón pregunta, ¿cómo se vería esto a largo plazo? Sencillo, vamos a empezar con la semanal. Hemos platicado con la mensual. Hemos platicado 1,000 millones de veces. Nuestro patrón delicioso de la tasa con agarradera lo dio justamente de acá hasta acá. Tuviste la consolidación y bolas para arriba. Me parece que el objetivo ya lo tocamos, o un segundo. No, en realidad el objetivo está aquí arriba en 125, todavía no acaba. Viéndolo así, además con divergencias alcistas y además con literalmente volatilidad continuando empujando a un extremo, esto tiene para continuar, es lo que tiene cara de. Se ve muy alcista, pero es muy difícil poder decir a 3, 6 meses qué va a pasar en estas tablas, porque si todo cambia rápido en la corta temporalidad, pues tienes que estar al pendiente de ello. Así que antes de que eso pase, vamos a platicar de ello. Todas las temporalidades tienen un momentum apuntando para arriba, divergencias alcistas, etcétera. Así que esto es básicamente un show alcista que estamos viviendo con Hood. Lo pueden ver acá. Habíamos encontrado resistencia en los $66, rechazo nos llevó hasta los 29, que fue la oportunidad de oro de comprar justamente en marzo. Y desde entonces ha hecho más de un 3X hasta los 113, $113. Y ahorita está cotizando en 104 en este momento. Esta línea justamente, meme, que estamos viendo en los 107, no, en los $100, es lo que debería de aguantar esta consolidación para dar continuación a la alza. Vamos a poner el HPDR rápido para que veas. Habíamos dicho que esto necesitaba consolidación porque habíamos llegado a la parte alta justamente del 100% en el HPDR y estamos viendo justamente los efectos de eso, y eso nos hace consolidar un poco. Es lo que necesita un poco Robinhood, poder consolidar en esta zona, pero lo está haciendo de forma muy alcista. Vamos a la semanal. Volatilidad está contrayendo en la semanal y estamos viendo cómo de haber llegado a este extremo en el 97.5%, estamos regresando hasta el 50% y de ahí estamos impulsando al 61.8%. Eso está en los 104.43, justamente donde está el precio en este momento. Con cerrar por encima de donde estamos en este momento, deberíamos de ir a máximos históricos en los 114.49 y de ahí a los 122. Muy cerca de este máximo que nos debería dar ese movimiento de tasa y agarradera. Ahora, si llegas, lo difícil va a ser acá, perder los 93.86, los 93.98. Si pierdes los básicamente 94, tienes una alta probabilidad de visitar los 85 y esa sería una excelente oportunidad de compra. 2 días te lo pone, pero claro como el agua. Puedes ver justamente que venimos de acá abajo, tocamos los $100, rechazo, breakout. Venimos y nos estamos apoyando y estamos literalmente cerrando. Te dio esta vela topera en la de 2 días antes, pero ahora estás por encima del 9 y de la media. Esto te da un objetivo natural de los $110 y una vez que rompas los $100, tienes una muy alta probabilidad de venir al 61.8% en estos 116 y crear un nuevo máximo histórico. Vean qué bien aguantó estos mínimos en los 90, literalmente en $93 parece que fue la oportunidad. Por ahora en la diaria también estás por encima de la media, el 5, el 9, y esto te debería llevar literalmente a los 107.93 y llegas a cerrar tal cual donde estás acá, no perder los $104. 104 es una zona donde demuestra el precio fuerza y pueden ver el por qué. Déjenme un segundo, quito esto y lo pongo para que lo puedan ver. Puedes ver esto. ¿Dónde están los 104? Acá. Justamente. Los 104 es lo que te está llevando a estos números. Los 104 parece ser la zona donde si puedes romper a la alza, tienes más probabilidades de ir a nuevos máximos históricos. De no poder cerrar por encima de los 104, tienes probabilidad de corregir hasta los 94. Y lo que probablemente ya no te lleve sea este bajo de acá. Este probablemente ya sea el bajo, el mínimo local. O sea, tuviste este mínimo, máximo, mínimo, máximo, mínimo, y ahora deberías de, estando aquí arriba, preocuparte por llevarte los 110 y de ahí nuevo máximo histórico. Ahí está. Bastante fácil, Robinhood, honestamente, sobre todo cuando me dicen qué decir, pero sí, es muy, 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 muy alcista. Si eres muy alcista, quieres quedarte en los 104, cualquier oportunidad de agregar en los 95 sería bienvenida. Y bueno, sacas la lotería si llegas a los $86 y puedes agregar ahí. Pero Robinhood se ve demasiado alcista, damas y caballeros. Vamos a la siguiente, UPS. Vamos a ver cómo está el mundo en este momento con esto. UPS es un buen indicador simplemente porque, pues, güey, actividad económica pasa a través del correo, ¿no? De estos servicios. Alrighty, sir.
Nice.
Yeah,
so UPS is not looking good at all. I mean, really, it's just once we lost this weekly SMA 200, it's just been in a steady downtrend. I mean, this occurred in August 2023. And so now we're finally getting even a breakdown on this last weekly close. It's really crucial now to see, kind of the reaction around $89, $88.92. That's going to be really crucial for bulls to reclaim. Then they can make an argument of being back within this range. But as you've just seen, I mean, any little pump has just fizzled out, turned into a lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. So, even if you get a rally up into the coming weeks, that should be gauged as a lower high potentially. It's kind of insane how brutal this chart has been sold off for how big of a company it is. You also see volatility on the weekly, gave you an extreme low read and then busted up. And now you're just kind of seeing the effects of that. Nothing's telling me that this has to stop. Rather, so you would just be gauging like a shallow bearish retest before going down. Next objective here is right around $77. Let's see what the HBDR says. So, wow, valid breakdown. This tells you that even if you get that move to the weekly EMA 9, that should be looked at as, kind of the lower high spot, major rejection zone. So maybe you do, wick a little above the meme line, but I would be gauging that weekly 9 because you had here a reclaim of that. Let me just zoom in. You reclaimed the weekly 9, went to the 21, rejected very heavily. So you would be just looking at this as a major bearish retest anyways. Oh, same thing with the 5-day. Man, did they just have earnings or something? It's kind of crazy how, I mean, what, I don't know. There must have been earnings or something for this red dildo, or maybe it's just people selling. I mean, wow, yeah, even on the daily, you're at the 100%. So a bounce should be expected here. Will that bounce take you to like the $96 range potentially, or does it just get sold down right around $89? It's going to be really crucial to watch moving forward. And you definitely don't need to be a contrarian trying to long this for that bottom long. There's really no reason to do that. When I go to the monthly here, I'll throw the rainbow chart off. Simply, I mean, as long as you're under the monthly SMA 200, this is a dead chart. There's literally no reason to be bullish on this. And you even see that you've simply just rejected. Each rally up on the monthly has been rejected from the 9. That's instant weakness to me. That's not a good chart. And this isn't a bear market. So, if you did, let's say, get a squeeze up, you still haven't even tested the zone, which is that monthly SMA 200, a major bottoming point here in 2020. So, like, a squeeze up could happen, but I'm bearish as long as you're under this Currently, it's at 113. Yeah, 113. So I'm cautious as long as you're under that. And granted, that criteria would have saved you some shekels. You just see here once you lost that zone. Oh gosh, too much red. It's actually serious. Yeah, once you lost that, I mean, 23%, pretty brutal. Not a good chart. And this hopefully just keeps it in perspective for you. You had a range breakdown. This was solid support. This was the zone that held before this major move up in 2020. So now you've lost that. This was a nice red candle, kind of introducing you to this breakdown. Any move to this region needs to be looked at with extreme caution. I wonder where the 5 is. Slightly a little more down, but I think the easy gauge for this is just using the 9. That, as we've seen, just has been the easy trade through and through. Really, trading these moving averages to the downside has just been, very easy for bears. Each lower high just leads to moves down, and that's what you see in super trending markets. Unfortunately, this is just in a bear market, so it's trending very heavily to the downside. Bi-monthly here lost the EMA 100. You would have already been very bearish on this chart, though. Simply here, once you lost this bi-monthly EMA 9 was not a good sign. And then, just losing that EMA 100. Granted, yeah, you don't have a lot of price action history, but still, now you see the EMA 9 has moved past that EMA 100. Ultimately, when the fast moving average crossing below the slow moving average, it's very bearish. And you've actually never had that in this chart's history. You see here the 9 has crossed the 21. Oh, and you're literally about to actually give a silver cross within the next month or two. Or no. In 25 days, yes, a bi-monthly. So you're about to give a bi-monthly silver cross to the downside. Let's see if we've ever had one. Yeah, you did. Right when the 55 started populating, you did have a bi-monthly silver cross here. And as you can see, it was pretty straight to business. Each move down was, getting rejected off the bi-monthly 9. Now, you didn't break away from it, but still, these rejections, 8% here. This was an 18%. Rallied up, rejected here, reclaimed, went to the 21. And then you start moving up. So, in summary, if you are investing in this chart, I see absolutely no reason to do that. This kind of solidifies it. In the next, 25 days, it's potentially going to confirm the second silver cross in this chart's history. From that first silver cross that we had in 08, this is what led down, this gave you at minimum a 15% move down. So this easily can cross. You very easily can get a move up, maybe to the 9, and then maybe it rolls over. But still, that's just hopium. Well, this is still an invalid breakdown.
Mm-hmm. Even there, like before the bust up action, you have like that candle to the right, down there. Exactly. It's still lower than where it's at today. So this place could actually hold in theory and still be a higher low. Does that make sense?
It would need to hold. Once you take this low out, there really isn't going to be much of an argument. And there still isn't really. This is technically a range. If you just start looking at the 6 months, big range, yeah, but support here at like 89. And then we have that extremity low at like 77. But still, when the weekly 2-week is just looking like this, you do have to be watching this. Now, this will either then reclaim, consolidate, move up, reclaim that 2-week 9, and then maybe start bottoming. But until then, that's why aggressive bears are really just going to be looking for bearish retest down. I could make the argument, though, that you could see higher. That's just solely based on, we know the daily HBDR is at the 100%. So, most likely a bounce. will that bounce just get sold off right at that daily 9 once it does start hitting that meme line? Potentially. And that would just be really bearish. So yeah, I mean, it's really hard to make a case of what will occur, and that's why I do think the bi-monthly silver cross is very interesting, because last time we had that was in 08. Now you're potentially about to get one. That's not bullish, and it kind of tells you that this can't afford a bounce. This bounce definitely could move all the way up to here, but that would just be a major opportunity for shorts. Kind of odd that, in 08, the silver cross, now we are potentially about to, not confirmed yet, so we want to be just cognizant of that.
You still have the biggest drop in the stock price ever right now, even beyond 2008.
Yeah, no, this is totally cooked, this chart.
And it's fucking UPS.
That's what I'm saying. Like, that's why, I was pretty shocked to see it just freshly getting a breakdown. I don't know if earnings just came all through.
It did.
Or something
Yeah.
happened. Oh, that makes sense. But yeah, no, this chart is, you do not want to invest in this. It's in a bear market. Weekly SMA 200 was your trigger to just start de-risking. Solid downtrend. Whenever you lose that weekly EMA 100, that's my first sign. You also don't, my criteria for a bear market is simply the weekly 9 needs to get lost. And then you're looking at the daily EMA 100, more chop here, and then the monthly kind of solidifies it. And that's why when that monthly EMA 9 got lost, that's always your sign. You want to be aware of the chop, but the chop often breeds price divergence, easy entries. Once you got under that 9 here, this was just solid shorting, and it's just been solid shorting. So there's no reason to overthink it. You've now freshly lost the monthly SMA 200. This is literally a cooked chart, and yeah, I mean, the hopium now is that maybe you get a little rally up, but you would have to really think, like, the monthly has been in a solid downtrend. If, let's say, that bi-monthly does retest that EMA 9 where it's currently at, this would shift the monthly into an uptrend. You would have potentially a nice SFP here, and then also a reclaim of the SMA 200 going all the way back up to here. That's why I'm not really looking for that scenario to occur. Rather, I just want to play the trend. We have a new lower low, probably gets a lower high, and then I'm watching right around the $90 to see what happens. If this starts getting reclaimed on like a daily, then we can actually start formulating maybe a trade. Until then, yeah, this just looks very bearish. And you even have, I mean, you have a daily silver cross. It just hasn't been invalidated. So you're kind of just watching to see the reaction here. But yeah, this is a cooked chart. I wouldn't even invest in this. There's no reason to invest in this at all. And there's literally nothing telling you that this is going to bounce. And having the logic of, oh, well, it's so low, it has to bounce, has just literally lost bulls money since 2023. So yeah, pretty nasty. This was a major range breakdown. And it's terrible that, you got that on a monthly candle close. I mean, you haven't really gotten that ever. So you're now theoretically literally back within this range. Lose $77. Yeah, $77. Now you're literally talking about a move like here where we could actually see around $53 next. So really big range here. Best bet for me is we see a consolidation for many months. And then we can maybe get out of here. This causes the 9 to move down. Then it won't be as hard, for bulls to actually reclaim that. Or, you just simply get the bearish retest, and then this rolls over, goes to here, and then you're either going to spring up and reclaim back above $90, or this will lose it on a monthly close, giving you a major capitulation down to the 50s. Talking about a 31% dump still. And then if that occurs, yeah, I mean, you're just hoping that kind of meme line holds. But that's the issue when you're under all major moving averages and breaking down, is you just have hopium. I mean, there's nothing but air at this point. And even so, once you're now under this SMA 200, There's literally no hopium on the monthly. It was like maybe this will bottom. It did it here. That didn't occur. And you couldn't even retest it. So yeah, that puts this chart in just dead territory. Would not touch this at all.
And it's weird because, like, for example, FedEx still on a nice uptrend.
Let's see that.
This is FedEx right here.
Oh, right. Yeah, it is actually. I mean, you're just kind of like in a channel, honestly, in that 3-month. You
Like
just
this
simply
really,
need to see if that support will hold.
it really moved along with the market, right? Like this is 2018, then bottom 2020, top 2021, bottom 2022, as we all like know exactly what happened. And right now, July 24th, 2024, and now you're coming down, but it's not that much. Why the
No, I
fuck
mean,
is
this chart
UPS so
looks
fucked?
Yeah, this chart. FedEx looks significantly better than UPS. UPS looks, I mean, just like Nike. It just looks fucked. Looks terrible.
Like we haven't been in this range since I'm sorry, we haven't lost this range since 2013. Like if we fall like below this line right here, we haven't been there in 12 years. Like what the fuck is going on? I'm gonna look it up because this is interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you so much, dude. So easy. So easy to understand after you go. Thank you.
And the one thing too is just that bi-monthly silver cross to the downside. I mean, that does just kind of solidify it. If that does confirm, yeah, I mean, you have literally no argument to be bullish on this chart.
Well, this is a quarterly, and you see that the EMA 100 started to populate right here. So it's right here in this line. Do you see it?
Oh, yeah.
The red one. So this would be the first ever time that we're below it on the 3-month. So this, and one more time, I don't understand how or why, but this low should be quite significant. I feel like just entering here and just an invalidation at 81 would be like the easiest, let's see what happens type of play. Because if you take this out, you're probably going to go to 61.
Oh, yeah, literally. So bulls literally need to defend here. And it literally could be that simple. Little price divergence saves the day. We've seen it before. But like, see, that's a logical trade that took patience. Imagine just buying this all the way down.
No.
And that's why this could afford a bounce and the price divergence could play that easy. Because I just can't imagine all the people getting smoked on every move down, every quarter.
Yeah, for basically 3 years now, because that this peaked in 2022, like the beginning of 2022. So all 2022, all 2023, all 2024. It's 3.5 years that this shit's been going down nonstop. Crazy.
Yeah, that's just crazy to me.
Crazy. Thank you.
When I see a chart like that, I'm like, damn, like we just could have made free money shorting this.
I know. Fucking nuts. 1 second. Let's do Google, sir.
Oh, perfect. All right.
Excellent. Go right with the theme. Okay. Esto es UPS, ¿no? United Parcel Service, damas y caballeros, la empresa de envíos. Y diría, güey, esto es por la recesión y todo está quemado, pero pues vean a FedEx. Estamos viendo tablas de 6 meses para ustedes que se pregunten por qué hay tan pocos datos en estas tablas. Son simplemente, cada una de estas velas son 6 meses, ¿ok? Solamente quiero que vean la diferencia, cómo esto está en caída y FedEx continúa en una clara tendencia alcista. Es más, creo que aquí hay un paralelo bastante fácil de entender. No me gusta esta vista para este paralelo, pero vamos a usar esto. Pueden ver que FedEx continúa haciendo bajos más altos, bajos más altos, bajos más altos, bajos más altos, altos más altos, altos más altos. Ahora, aquí, este fue el tope de FedEx en el 2021. Acá ya no lo volvió a hacer en el 2024 cuando todo hicieron. Esto podría hacer que nos llevemos estos mínimos. Ahora, yo sé que no me están pidiendo FedEx, pero es interesante lo fuerte que se ve comparado con UPS. Y es ¿por qué? UPS, si alguien de aquí sabe más de paquetería que el tío Salo, díganme, ¿por qué FedEx y UPS son diferentes? Hay una que se recarga más en ciertos lugares, como Estados Unidos específicamente, como, o ¿qué es lo que es? Si alguien de ustedes sabe, por favor, dígame. No sé, no entiendo perfectamente cuál sea la diferencia entre estos dos. Ok, desde acá habíamos visto, estamos viendo una tabla de 6 meses, habíamos visto claramente acá el fondo en el 2009, y quiero que vean esto, ¿ok? Esto salió en el 99, perdón. Y quiero que vean esto. En el 2004 fue cuando hizo tope, no en el 2007 o 8 como todos los demás, pero encontró fondo justamente como todo en el 2009. Fue una caída de 56% en lo que podríamos llamar nosotros una de las peores crisis que, si ustedes eran bebés, pero consideran que han vivido, ¿no? ¿Cómo vergas estamos al día de hoy a donde ha llegado 64% abajo? ¿Cómo puede ser esto peor que lo que pasó en el 2008? ¿No? Si es que no nos han dicho nada. De nuevo, esto es para el precio de FedEx. Muy interesante. En la de 6 meses también tienes el promedio del 5 yéndose por debajo del 9, del 21 y ahora va por el 34. Esta es una de las señales más bajistas de la historia. Pero también tengo que ser un mentiroso si no les digo la verdad de esto. A menos de que esta chingadera se vaya a ir a cero, a menos, pienso que esto debería de aguantar. Este mínimo de acá que están viendo, si lo pueden ver, este está en cuánto. Déjenme pongo esto. 82 planos. Esta vela ha tocado 84.28. Si yo estuviera interesado en comprar esta mamada, la compraría ahorita y esta sería mi invalidación. Una vez que caiga de 82, sabes que vais a ir a los 61. Mínimo, 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 irías a los 73. Pero de no aguantar, 61. Y la cosa es, cuando ves esta tabla, o sea, no hemos estado en este rango, sí lo pueden ver, ¿no? El rango de abajo. Este rango, no hemos estado por debajo desde acá. Es el 2013. Estás hablando de 12 años que no hemos visitado este rango. 12 años. O sea, no puedo imaginarme qué es lo que haya pasado por acá, que se haya cargado a UPS con esta fuerza. Déjame ver el HPDR. Estamos ya al 100%, pero le gusta caer más allá del 100% en la de 6 meses. Lo pueden ver acá. Pero ya estando en el 100%, tíos, tienes aquí un trade. Definitivamente, o sea, pintado perfecto. Ok, vamos a ver la de 3 meses, cómo se ve. Esperaría algo igual. Exactamente. Estamos haciendo esto. Esto tiene que ser una zona muy buena para comprar UPS a menos de que se vayan a ir a cero. Una vez más, ¿cuál sería tu invalidación? Güey, véndelo debajo de los 82. Pero ya ve dónde estás. Obviamente, altos más altos hasta acá, pero estás creando bajos más bajos en todos lados, todo acá. Y simplemente es el canal donde está negociándose este pedo. Déjenme ver la mensual, cómo se ve. La mensual, pierdes el SMA 200, caes, ni lo retesteas por la poca fuerza que tienes y continúas. Y también tu mensual, tienes obviamente cruce plateado y ya estás acá. O sea, tu mensual te dice 75, 74 debería aguantar. ¿Qué habíamos dicho en los 74? El siguiente, ya me acordé. Y déjenme ver algo. Una vez más, perdón, se está tardando esto 3 años, pero les juro que no soy yo, es la computadora. Volatilidad continúa expandiendo, ante este caidongo, y esto puede marcar otro extremo en la de 6 meses. 3 meses continúa expandiendo la trimestral con este Don Perú. Mensual continúa empujando. Yo creo que voy a cerrar el análisis con la de 2 semanas. No creo que esta tabla valga la pena ser vista por menos de esa temporalidad. ¿Ok? ¿Por qué no? Simplemente por esto, lo que estás viendo. Ok. Vale. Aquí les va. O sea, esto está en una clara tendencia bajista y lleva en esta tendencia bajista 3 años y medio. 3 años y medio. Pero el hecho de que vaya a caer más allá de lo que cayó en marzo del 2020 cuando se paró el mundo entero, es o esta es la mejor oportunidad de compra de la historia o tal vez te aguante este nivel por acá en los 74. Pero si cae más de esto, yo creo que aguantaría yo si estuviera invirtiendo en esto los 74. Pero por debajo de, o sea, ¿a dónde va a ir esto? Y a cierto punto tiene que rebotar un poco, aunque sea los 90, $100, por si te equivocas. Pero esto a dónde va, tío? O sea, está en la mierda. En la mierda en todas las temporalidades. Tal vez la diaria tenga un rebote. Bueno, la diaria no está haciendo un bajo más bajo hoy. Con expansión de volatilidad ante este caidongo y obviamente tienes una, ¿cómo se llama? Un gap entre los 90 y los $100. Bueno, entre los, espérame, no son los 90, sí, 98 y $100. ¡Wow! ¡Qué castigado está esto! Ok, una vez más, sencillo. Pongo la trimestral, no me voy a meter en diaria, que no sé, esta madre apenas si se mueve como para empezarle a hacer scalping. Yo compraría un long acá, o sea, compraría acciones acá y las vendo si bajamos de 82, que es esta vela de acá. Si bajamos de 82 y caemos al siguiente rango que no lo hemos visto en 13 años, probablemente esta chingadera está cocinada. Pero ahora, ¿podríamos aguantar un flashazo hasta los 74, etcétera? Sí. Pero esto no se ve bien. Personal, si estoy interesado en esto, yo sí compraría aquí ahora. Yo lo haría. Por la oportunidad, vas a tomar el trade todo el tiempo. Cuando tienes una invalidación tan corta, estás hablando de cuánto. Y esto lo vas a comprar en spot. Estás hablando de acciones, ¿ok? Para que no vengan a mamar. Mete $100,000 acá y tu invalidación está en 2.59% abajo. Digamos 2.70. Perderías $2,700 en el peor escenario con 100,000. Con 10,000 perderías $270 si te rifas a esto. Pero tu upside es gigantesco. Porque con que regreses mínimo a retestear acá los 120, que es normalmente lo que pasa, ¿no? La zona del breakdown tienes que venir a retestearla antes de continuar cayendo. Es un 50% a la alza. Esto tiene más upside que bajo. Pero la cosa es, se podría ir para abajo y tienes que ser disciplinado con esto. Ahí lo tienen, damas y caballeros. Mr. Farhano, what are we doing now?
My PP huge.
Your PP huge, yes. I remember, my friend. Haha, your PP huge.
My huge.
My God.
All right. So I'll start with, I apologize for the retardation.
We all apologize for it. But at the same time, I ain't apologizing to no one.
So we have enough data on this on my PP for quarterly, so we'll do that. Right now, we are getting very close to getting another silver cross to the upside. 21 is just about to cross over that 55 EMA. Very likely on this candle closure, it is going to happen. And along with that silver cross, I would expect to move somewhere around this 95% zone on the HPDR to retest this breakdown zone, whether we're bullish or bearish. If we're going to be bearish, we'll reject this 95% area right here, put in a lower high, and then from there, I'd expect these current lows to be broken somewhere around like 40 cents. Right now, it's kind of rejecting this previous lower high at about $4.48. closing over that high is what gives you that move into somewhere around that $7-ish to $8-ish zone. Let's see what it likes to do on the HPDR. Goes to the 100%. Did it right there. Did it right there. I guess it's not too crazy. Number is crazy, and the 100% is not crazy. That's like $84. A little too high. Momentum is getting deeply into the bullish control zone with volatility support. It's not quite topped out yet because it likes to go to 100% on momentum and volatility. So possibly one more push, that would be a move into that somewhere around like $5 to $6 zone. But you'd want to see the close over that wick high. So Jewel's now also giving you a fresh buy signal that goes along with the more short-term bullish outlook, but it is a quarterly chart. Let's look at the monthly. Monthly is also getting quite high up on momentum and volatility, tapping the 95%. Very likely, as long as you're below about $4.44, this is probably going to come back down at a minimum to retest somewhere around $2.60. I would look at that as a higher low opportunity, though, especially since that quarterly is about to sliver cross and the monthly is very close to sliver crossing. So get the monthly Jewel. Monthly Jewel is now also giving you a buy signal and curving back around in the bearish control zone. That also tends to produce pretty significant results. Let's mark that off and see what we usually get. Alrighty, and we'll call it at that one. Pretty nice bounces. 69%. That's a very perfect bounce, if I do say so myself. About 97%. 111%. Doesn't look like that much on the chart. It's the best bounce. I tell you, when we bounce good. 53%. Oh, I'm going to omit that one. 524%. It's very much out of the ordinary. And I guess no. I guess it's not out of the ordinary because we are currently up about 410% from this Jewel signal. So let's just say how much that 500% number is. Right along that $5 to $6 area. Very interesting. Just as I say, I will omit that. 2 week also getting very, very topped out. Momentum and volatility are at like 98, 99%. Sitting at the 97.5% on the HPDR. What's going to confirm for me the pullback is losing this 97.5% at about $3.48. And if you look right now on the 2 week EMAs, you're freshly getting that silver cross. So now you got the quarterly about to cross, the monthly about to cross, and the 2 week in the process of crossing. And when we get that cross, very likely you will get that 90 EMA will rise, and eventually you are going to test that 90 EMA. And that 90 EMA is going to be my target for when you get that loss of the 97.5%. Wherever the 90 EMA is at that point, that's where I would be looking for as the correction target. Yeah. And it's with how it's moving up right now, if the HPDR ranges do step up, I wouldn't be waiting for a move down into the 90 EMA. I'd be expecting the 90 EMA to be pulled up into price action. But if we're trading within this 90-ish percent to 88.3% range on the HPDR, then it's more likely you're going to get a move down into the 90 EMA. Let's look at the 2 week Jewel. Jewel's also giving you a very powerful buy signal, the pink crossing above the yellow in the bearish control zone. So the weekly is also very extreme, 99% on momentum and volatility with a God mode background on the Jewel. As long as you're sitting below $44.44, probably going to test somewhere around $2.90 at a minimum. 5 days, same thing as weekly, 99% on momentum and volatility. 2 days, 97, 98%. Very, very toppy on this on 2 day. If you get even a tick below about $3.36, that's just probably going to give you that move into about 290, 295. That is the 2-day 9 EMA. Daily is also, it's starting to flip back up, but it's very, very extreme. I wouldn't really expect much out of this move back up on momentum, especially since now the daily jewel is starting to flash a sell signal with a God mode background, and we're rejecting the 97.5%. I would kind of ignore that momentum to the upside. Very likely that's just giving us this retest of this 97.5%. And rejection from there would bring you back towards somewhere around that $2.90-ish zone. 21 is going to slowly rise. It doesn't really line up with the 21 as of this moment on the daily. 4 hours, very sharply pointed down, now entering into the bearish control zone. Last time momentum was in this area was basically off the bottom at that 9 EMA. Interesting, we're resting right at that 9 EMA right now as well. And we're putting in hidden bullish divergences like we did right there at that point is also very interesting. And that hidden bullish divergence will be confirmed with any close over about $3.73. That's very close. That changes things for me a little bit. That would also reclaim the 5 EMA. It wouldn't quite reclaim the 38.2%, but it would mark this as a local bottom. And divergence target, I think, very likely would be a retest these current highs. Not exactly your all-time highs, but somewhere just below them. Because it is a 4-hour setup. 4-hour jewel, on the other hand, is giving you a very bearish cross with the pink below the yellow in the bearish control zone, bullish control zone with the God mode background. And it's conflicting signals. That paints a nice picture. And quarterly RSI is now putting in hidden bullish divergence, which will confirm with any close over, let's see, this is going to be very low. About $1.31. It can go down like $2 and still confirm that hidden bullish divergence. That's pretty wild. And your target, the easy target, is going to be the bullish control zone, which right now sits at about 459. And then the critical zone, which will update. But right now it's sitting at about $14, a little high. Monthly already has 3 drives of bullish divergence confirmed, actually 4 drives of bullish divergence confirmed, and that will be active as long as you're closing over about, what number is this? 72 cents. Wow, that's very, very, very far down. And your next target is the bullish control zone, which sits at about $4.13. Somewhere around that $4 zone. Very, very significant. 2 week, nothing. Weekly's got bullish divergence already in the critical zone, so not much you can do with that. Nothing. Daily's got bearish divergence, lines up with the short-term bearishness pullback. You still holding the 5 EMA though. That would be the easy target off that bearish divergence. The next target is going to be the edge of the bullish control zone, which right now sits at about $3. Lines up with about tapping that 290 zone though. And 4 hours got bearish divergence as well. That's going to be active as long as you're closing below, let's see, $3.73. Very close. Your next target is that edge of the bullish control zone. That level sits at about 333. Let's check momentum. Mega Matrix.
What a name, no?
Yeah. It's a matrix attack by the Mega Matrix.
It's the Mega Matrix attacking you.
The mega matrix is taking all your money.
Andrew Tate would come out and say, see, here's the thing about the mega matrix that you don't understand. Women are fucking stupid. They should stay in the kitchen and make me a fucking sandwich in the mega matrix, okay? Let us be clear. Smoking a cigar. All right? Fuck.
That's exactly what you would say too. And you know, the thing that I don't like about the stock market is that the Queen of England is a whore.
Yeah. It's incredible. it's I'm telling you, reality is way more fun than fiction these days.
This is definitely not market manipulation right here, though. Definitely not.
Oh, not at all. Not at all.
488%. 85%, not market manipulation at all. On the quarterly, if you look, momentum is now starting to freshly flip back up, projected to break out of the critical zone on this next open, and it's going to be pointed up as long as you're closing over $1.14. And that goes along with very close to getting that silver cross. Monthly also strongly pointed to the upside with a derp of life, and it's going to be pointed up as long as you're closing over 64 cents. Very nice to see the pivot so low, very close to breaking out of the bearish control zone. See, last time we had a derp of life. Never had one. Interesting. Two-week also has got the derp of life pointed up as long as we're closing over 156. Now in the bullish control zone. Weekly is freshly flipping to the upside. Going to be flipped up as long as you're closing over 342 with that fresh silver cross. 5-day also flipped to the upside. However, it will flip down in 4 days if we close below 385. 2-day also flipped to the upside, entering into the critical zone, and it is going to flip down if you close below 371. This one closes in about 3 hours. And it is kind of likely here that this one does flip down, especially with volatility contraction now. You should be looking for a mean reversion. I mean, you did kind of see a uninterrupted move to the upside of around 455%. So a little bit of a pullback. It's not too crazy after that. Dailies flip to the downside. Is there any bearish divergence? No bearish divergence. And then it's going to be flipped down as long as you're closing below 428. Four hours also currently flipped to the downside, but it's very close to flipping back up. Interesting. And it will flip back up if you can close over $3.56. And flipping up here would maintain the bullish control zone. And I believe it would put in hidden bullish divergence as well. Yep, it would also put in hidden bullish divergence. It's going to come down to this last 40 minutes. 2 hours currently flipped down. That's interesting. As long as you're closing below 369, it's a very good pivot. Our release can also flip to the downside. Volatility is almost at extreme lows. Let's get into the weeds of it. 30-minute is currently flipped up. Many periods of 0% volatility. Let's zoom in a little bit. Can't really see that. My eyes are terrible. Yeah, the loss of this 55 EMA and that volatility expansion is very likely going to happen to the downside. Let's go to the 15-minute, little degenerate. And 15-minute is currently flipped up. Let's see where we are on momentum. Can't really see. That's right at the edge of the bearish control zone. Volatility now going into a contraction phase. Not really getting much of a clear direction on the short term. Going to come down to if this 4 hour can flip back up or not. And as of this moment, it does look like it's going to flip back up. Daily. All right. So on the high time frames, it is now starting to shift momentum back into the bull's favor, with momentum flipping back up from very extreme lows. And whenever momentum does flip up from these areas, areas of this low in the critical zone usually gets a very significant move to the upside. Even if it's a bearish retest, it's still very large moves to the upside. Like, for example, this was just a failure, but it was still a move to the upside of 243%. It'll make lower lows, but still make gigantic swings in both directions before basically just going sideways. Because if you were to put this into a line chart, this thing just goes really sideways with huge volatility in between. Quarterly is about to confirm a silver cross. Monthly is about to confirm a silver cross. 2 week is now in the process of crossing, and the weekly is already crossed. All of the medium-term timeframes are currently pointed to the upside. Only the lower ones are pointed down. Daily is about to flip back up, and 4 hours flipping back up as well. If that does confirm, that will put in some hidden bullish divergence and give us a target of somewhere around $4 to $4.30. And if we can get a daily close over $4.30, that's what gives us a move to retesting somewhere around. Put it back on the monthly. This rejective zone here around $6 to $7. Right now, if you can close that 4 hour over 370, it will be the trigger for that move up. Close below that 370, then that 30-minute volatility is going to expand to the downside, and you're going to very likely be retesting somewhere around that $2.90 zone, which is the 2-day 9 EMA. Right now, my bias is that it's very likely going to test that $2.90 zone because of how extreme areas we are at on the HPDR, tapping the 97.5%. Basically across the board. It's just simple probabilities that's unlikely to proceed from that point. So I'm thinking divergence is not going to confirm on the 4 hour, and we'll get a little bit of a move up, maybe to see somewhere around $3.90 to $4. But I do think that's going to reject, and I think we're going to come down to somewhere around $2.90, and then from $2.90, I think we're going to reattempt this breakdown zone. And the reason I think the main reason is basically off that HPDR at extreme ranges, purely going based off of probabilities from there. If it does flip up though, that's going to be thrown out, and then we're probably going to be going to at a minimum into the 4s.
Ooh, well, that's exciting. Investing into the mega matrix. Hopefully,
it's a matrix.
Yeah. At the end of the day, this is the matrix that gives you money, not that takes away
Hopefully,
money.
Yeah, mega gains in this matrix.
You're going to get mega gains in this matrix as long as women make you a fucking sandwich in all 4s while touching their pussy, okay? That's how this works. You know what's the fucking stupid people? Slaves. I hate slaves. God damn, they don't have cigars and Bugattis. Fucking slaves. Pieces of shit. Anyway,
1.4 liter turbo. You're poor.
Just remember, you're poor. God, I hate poor people. Anyways. Isn't that incredible what entertainment on social media turned into? It's pretty good. Now, by the way, in Mexico, there's a soccer player that's copying everything Andrew Tate's saying and saying it out loud. And now Mexico is reacting like the US reacted to make him even more famous by saying those things. Does that make sense? It's like, why is that working right now? It's 2025. This dude already did it, has Bugattis in it. That already worked. Why is there more people like this popping up?
The original one was? It was Mr. Trump. He created the rage bait.
Oh, well, the news reporters created rage baiting so long ago. Trump magnified it. That's for sure. But back in the day, dude, yeah.
He used it to win the presidency.
Yeah, no. And Trump knows how to make it work. That's what was genius about him. But yeah, I mean, this has been around forever. You should have seen because you guys were seamen still in the Obama election. It was still the same anger and like frustration from everyone, the same stuff and the same racist shit. It's literally the same thing every single time, but no one learns anything. Ever. That's the only thing you need to learn. That no one learns anything, no matter what happens. So you can take advantage of it. All right.
Cyclical and everything.
Exactly. Look, this is the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen in this fucking stupid candle. It is just a range, and this candle took all the range. Incredible. Vale, vamos a ver Mega Matrix, damas y caballeros. Mega Matrix, así se llama esta empresa. Y como diría Andrew Tate, si vas a ser pobre, mejor que una mujer te haga un sándwich, porque no saben pensar. Su cerebro es mucho más pequeño e inferior al de los hombres. Así que no dejes que te ataque la Matrix y pues que tu vieja te haga un sándwich. ¿No? Es lo que diría Andrew Tate, si lo puedo decir en español, o diría el Chicharito, ¿no? Que ahora es el nuevo Andrew Tate, que todo el mundo por primera vez está escuchando eso en español, pero es algo que lleva años ocurriendo. Bueno, tenemos por acá la abierta de esta cosa en 1998 y desde entonces ha estado en un rango muy culero entre $4.50 y 85 centavos. Lo pueden ver literalmente, pum, 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 todo el tiempo, todo el tiempo. Justo en el 2020, cuando pasa lo peor del planeta, cae un poquito más allá de la línea meme y desde entonces explota como todo en el 2021 y desde entonces cayó y ahora está rangueando el mismo rango de siempre. Si yo fuera a jugar esto, personalmente, solamente de ver esto, y has visto que desde 1998 solo ha habido 2 ocasiones, 3 con esta también, esta toma de liquidez, pero vamos a tomar velas que de verdad cerraron arriba de. Solamente ha habido esta ocasión donde has tenido eso. Yo apostaría cada que llegue acá a que va a bajar acá y cada que baje acá a que llegue acá. Y sé que suena pendejo para mucha gente, pero no tienen idea lo fácil que a veces es simplemente jugar rangos en algo que se mueve en un rango, ¿no? Suena tan obvio, pero es tan cierto. Vamos a analizar esto rápido. Pues bueno, tenemos desde ese entonces, tenemos estos mínimos justamente en los 14 centavos. Desde los 14 centavos habíamos hecho este mínimo que era más alto, pero ahora hicimos un mínimo más bajo justamente acá en los 49 centavos. De ese mínimo más bajo de este, pero más alto que este, tuvimos esta expansión a los 4.40, 4.47. Y hemos retrocedido un poco a los 3.70, es lo que estamos viendo. Volatilidad estaba contrayendo todo este tiempo, extremos fue cuando tuvo este pompazo y ahora está a punto o está buscando poder romper a la alza una vez más. Eso sería lo que yo esperaría, que esta volatilidad se pusiera agresiva con esto para comprar, pero también yo nunca me rifaría a comprar esto, no tiene sentido alguno, a menos de que quieras tradear en rangos. Mensual. Mensual pueden ver que tuvimos nuestro primer cierre por encima de esta línea meme en los 3.44, que es muy importante. Eso normalmente te da el viaje a la parte alta de esta línea meme. Y tristemente ya llegamos a eso y ahora se está dando la vuelta. ¿Esto es el final? No, porque todas las cosas se ven bastante alcistas. Cuando tienes literalmente todos los cruces, todos los EMAs en un lugar, normalmente es alcista. Pero atención, tienes el 9, el 21, el 34, el 55, el 100 y el 200. Están en desorden, están al revés. Esto no me enseña mucha fuerza en el precio. Una vez que empiece a ver al 9, que es el bajito, el azul de aquí abajo, empezar a trepar por encima del amarillo, del blanco, de todos estos, bien, podemos decir que tenemos fuerza. La primera indicación sería por encima del amarillo. Hasta entonces, esto no tiene buena cara. Y ahora, poniéndoles el HPDR una vez más, 95%, justamente fue donde nos rechazó y eso nos debería llevar a un ajuste a esta zona de los 288 hasta los 245, que es donde está el SMA 200. El SMA 200 debería de aguantar. De no aguantar va a ser lo mismo que pasó acá. Es la línea morada que viene entre todo esto.
2 semanas, 8 de la mañana con Vladimir Putin y su madre.
Denme un segundo, denle 30 minutos a esta madre, perfecto. Acá estamos en la de 2 semanas, ya en el 100%. Tapeamos una vez más la parte alta y está aguantando el 97% que hace esta línea meme, quién sabe por qué, en los 3.48. De perder los 3.48, deberías de tener un viaje, y esto es donde esperarías que aguantara, pero de perder los 3.48 deberías de tener un viaje tranquilo hasta los 2.45 o hasta los 2.19, que es donde está el SMA 200 está. Perdiendo esto hacia la parte baja del canal. Volatilidad continúa en extremos y empujando, eso sí, podría quedarse en este rango por un rato. Denle 30 minutos a este pedo. Ahí está, eso. Otros 50 minutos, espérense, TradingView. Lo mejor es que ustedes ven que tenemos buen potente internet streaming, pero no nuestras tablitas, así que valemos verga. Semanal. Tienes la ruptura del SMA 200, tienes un cruce plateado a la alza justamente acá, y ese cruce plateado a la alza te dio este movimiento hasta la parte alta del canal. Ahora, tiene cara que va a corregir, el 97% está en los 250 y el SMA 200 en los 225. Esta es la zona que debes de aguantar si quieres continuar el pompazo y a ver si puedes romper a la alza. Volatilidad expandiendo también con el movimiento y el precio a la alza. Ahora, volatilidad está contrayendo ya aquí en la diaria. Déjenme quito esto, no es necesario tener el HPDR puesto. Es un poco lo que habíamos dicho antes y continúa siendo lo mismo, es religión. Abajo de 244 tendrías que rogarle a Dios que aguanten los dos, pero si no llega a aguantar los 244, yo creo que ahí estaría freído, ahí estaría frito. Y la razón por qué es sencilla, porque ves que debajo de los 244, 254, estás viendo que todo es aire hasta los $2. $2 ya empiezas a estar debajo de todos los promedios importantes en diferentes temporalidades y te tiraría. Por ahora tiene cara de que va a corregir o a esta zona que ya lo ha hecho. De perder esta zona, tu siguiente oportunidad van a ser los 245 a 255. De no aguantar esa zona, aquí es donde empiezas ya a pensar que esto va a caer y de regresar, revertirse por debajo de los 244. Yo aquí empezaría a pensar en objetivos a la baja. Y simplemente una vez más, ¿cuál es la apuesta? Esta es una de las tablas más tontas del mundo porque solamente puedes apostar, podrías hacer todo tu dinero apostando en rangos. Subes, apuestas abajo. Bajas, apuestas arriba. No hay más. Es así de sencillo. Por ahora queremos que los 225, 245 aguanten. De no poder aguantar los 245, 250, esto es bajista. De poder aguantar lo que queremos que romper a la alza son los 447. De poder romper los 447, 670 serían tu próximo objetivo y también probablemente, muy probablemente, de ahí altos históricos. Pero por ahora no pinta tan bien. Vamos a ver a Google, que es...
Nice. Yeah, Google has been very interesting. It's been on my radar actually, because I mean, simply the monthly is just in lower high posturing. I'm looking at this low. Once this low was taken out, this trend shifted. Then it allowed a nice pump, and now we're at a very interesting spot where, this very well could start rolling over, finding resistance, and we know exactly where we're wrong. I generally, if I'm shorting this, which I did post in the Academy, a Google short, I just simply don't want to see July wick high get taken out. So that means that anywhere around here is a short opportunity. And so this is a monthly, right? If we did, let's say, reject, I'd be gauging simply a move down to the monthly 9. I think that would be the first objective. And that is, right around the meme line. It's sitting right around $180. The meme line's at $176. So it's not too far off. I'm just gauging this zone, though, as kind of a major opportunity. And we can easily play the range until we actually lose this $176 area. I mean, we're just within this range. We very well could, reject here and then roll over. But that, I mean, still is a pretty sizable range to trade, about 9%. And that's kind of what I'm gauging for this trade. The 2-week looks like it put in a massive topping candle. Nice little evening star here. No, my apologies, shooting stars. So I'm really watching to see this as my invalidation. And I want to see this zone kind of reject us within the next 11 days. You even see volatility isn't giving us a setup, but you could draw like a regression if you wanted to get, a real meme with it. And, this has been pretty well respected. So if you did, let's say, bounce or get volatility around here, it could tie in with a nice little move down, testing that, 2-week EMA 21. I want to also look at the HBDR because, you are towards the extremes, but when I look at the monthly, the monthly is still very bearish. I mean, this shifted all the way up the bottom side of the 38.2%. right at $212.91. So, I mean, way past the all-time high. Then you see even the median sitting even higher. So, this still is in breakdown mode. I don't think it's, wise to be max longing here, but rather waiting and seeing if we take out July's wick high, and then maybe we'll get a shot at testing this all-time high. Till then, this still looks like it could be producing a lower high, exactly where you'd expect it. Because if this does start breaking down, you do have a head and shoulders potential. Now, I'm sure when these are very obvious, a lot of people are looking at them, which does diminish if they are gonna break down or not. But just the fact that you are sitting in lower high posturing on the monthly makes me pretty confident in playing this because I know exactly where I'm wrong. If we're really gauging last week or the last 2 week candle closure as kind of a topping candle, even locally, then that just gives us an easy invalidation. And even if we made our move down to that, $176 region, still would be looked at as a bullish move. I mean, you still are in breakout mode on the 2 week, so it's kind of the counter opposite of the monthly. And then that's why, when we do get down to this zone, I do want to watch the reaction very carefully. Because, if you do start losing $176 and then losing that 2 week EMA 34, could be implications for a move all the way down to the 100. So for now, I mean, we still can play the range. If we go to the 2-day, more lower time frame, you're just simply waiting and watching this candle. You want to see if it's going to reclaim support or not. Ideally, for aggressive shorts, you don't want to see this meme line get reclaimed. That's sitting at $193.48. But, it still has 2 hours and 54 minutes to go. Still a long time. And we want to watch how, New York is going to close. The last 30 minutes of the market is most often going to give us some kind of volatility. So for me, I mean, we're watching to see simply if the daily 9 is going to get reclaimed. We see that has moved right around our meme line. So that kind of is an easy gauge. As long as you are sitting below July 24th wick high, this is still going to be looked at as bearish. And I'm gauging anywhere around here to give us a daily lower high. I do think we can play the range. And if we actually, start breaking down, we'll know if this is going to be a valid breakdown if we simply lose the weekly EMA 34. Until then, though, I mean, we very well could go all the way down, consolidate, and then bounce. So that's kind of my idea on Google. I do think it is giving us, kind of an interesting play overall. And, I like these trades because you at least know where you're wrong. And if it does start really taking out this wick high, it is going to lead to a breakout. And that's where you do have to look at, this high. And then maybe Google puts in a new all-time high. And then maybe actually the monthly, levels come into play. And we actually see this get tested again. Oh, well, if we come up and test this, we could make a new high. But just as it stands on the HBDR, it still would be looked at as bearish. So yeah, I just find that very interesting, these levels. So, you're either going to really form, a massive rejection in the next 2 weeks on Google and then start coming down closer to that $176 region, or you are going to see, the last 2 week candle wick high taken out, consolidation above 200, leading to possibly a move to all-time high. For me, though, I'm still playing this setup. I'm still playing the idea that, the monthly is in a downtrend and we are just simply producing a lower high. And that is going to be the basis of my short. We just go to the daily here. I'm going to be watching this very carefully because, yeah, you are reclaiming the zone. But, one candle closure won't solidify it for me. I want to actually start seeing this hold and then maybe a breakout. Because you very well could just roll over, gets lost, and then you move down. So that's all I have on Google. Idea for me is mainly just playing that monthly. I think that's a big level.
The monthly on Google? Yeah, absolutely agreed.
That's fantastic. Fantastic. I really hope it fucking calms down. I want to put a ton of money in Google. But yeah, here we go.
1, 2. Why not? Just another bearish like another little drawdown, and then complete the inverse head and shoulders, shoulder, head, another shoulder, and then give us the bust up. That's all I want. That's all I want. I'm not asking
Just
for
a
much.
little busting action.
Just a little busting action.
Just a little busting action on everyone's face. Boys, you guys are done. You guys are done early today. Look at you. Look at you. It must be the shirt that Farhan's wearing. That's why.
Pink shirt.
Yeah. It's the good luck. I love pink. Yeah.
I ain't afraid to wear pink.
No, of course not. That's well, the insult does not go against the color, so it doesn't make any sense. The question here for you boys is anything else that you're looking at that gave you another idea while we're here? Bitcoin is at 115 for 500 basically.
Right now, I'm just a little cautious based off of the 8-hour jewel, so I decided to close my short, and I'm just watching right now.
Got it.
Yeah, I'm watching the daily EMA9. Officially just got tapped, so yeah, if bears are going to step in, it's going to be from here.
I do have a small scalp long open, but I'm just targeting the hourly 200 SMA.
Oh, so what you're saying is that you just have a tiny 300x probably in that tiny long, huh?
Muy tranquilo.
Exactly.
Muy tranquilo.
Sounds good. All righty, my boys. Well, have a beautiful Monday. Enjoy your day, and anything, I'll be around.
Cool. I'll see you boys later.
Tardes and hasta luego, muchachos.
Hasta luego. Gracias. Pues señores, vamos a terminar esto con Google. Bitcoin regresando a la zona de los 115,520. Atentos a todos ustedes tradeando esto. Rompen esto. Ahora, puedes hacer un SFP chido. Para mí, esa es la jugada. 116,300. Se los había dicho antes de empezar esto. Ahí es donde yo empezaría mi corto y lo cerraría por ahí de los 117. Arriba de eso ya me rindo. Pero por ahora empieza a verse bastante bien. Ok. Puta madre, Solana se me fue, cabrones. Ya estoy más para arriba porque Solana está empujando más para arriba. Bien, todo va de acuerdo. Bueno, mínimo a lo que he estado yo tradeando. Vámonos con Google. Vamos a ver Google. Preguntan en el chat que si deberíamos de comprar UPS porque está muy castigado. Alex y Farhan dicen que no. Yo estoy dando la idea de que si se llega a llevar ese mínimo, ahí me saldría y podrías comprar ahí abajo eso, pero no estoy diciendo que se vayan a comprar UPS, por cierto. No estamos diciendo eso literalmente. Alex y Farhan dijeron, está en tendencia bajista, no lo toco hasta que encuentre suelo. ¿Qué podría ser este? Para mí podría ser literalmente el momento y simplemente invalidarlo con ese wick de hace del 2020 básicamente. Si lo hace y se lo lleva para abajo, fuera, va a seguir cayendo. Y aparte es una acción que se mueve muy lento y toma mucho tiempo comprar, toma mucho tiempo dar movimientos. No entraría dentro de lo que yo estamos viendo, pero si la tienen por safety, algo así, hay un buen trade, o sea, bastante sencillo de seguir. Vámonos a Google. Bueno, Google estábamos viendo, básicamente voy a ponerla mensual para que tengan una buena idea de esto. Habíamos tenido este patrón justamente de tasa, pum, 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 a la alza. Y ahora ese patrón nos daba, ¿qué objetivo? Vamos a ponerlo acá. Una vez que rompió, ¿cuál sería el objetivo de esto? Sería más o menos por acá en los 215. Tenemos un máximo ahorita en 207. Así que interesante cómo se alinean las cosas. Ahora, en lo que estamos viendo acá, Google, estás por encima del promedio del 9, del 21.34. Se ve alcista. La cosa es, estás encontrando esta resistencia en diagonal. Y esto te permite, ahora sí que hacer el trade contrario a UPS. Y a veces estos trades son buenos porque cuando menos te lo esperas, uno de ellos jala. Que es, abres un corto donde estás y tu invalidación literalmente es alto. En los 197 me parece que es lo que es. Voy a confirmarles. 197.95, básicamente 198 sería tu invalidación. Bueno, 197.95, un centavo arriba. Porque si llegas a romper eso, muy probablemente vayas a buscar máximo por acá en los 206. Y ahí te daría otra oportunidad de un doble tope, un doble techo en el pecho, ¿no? Más o menos acá, pero esta vez sí lo rompió y luego cayó. La otra cosa que me gusta de Google, bueno, yo quiero invertir en Google, pero pesado, por AI, no por nada más. Tienes esto, y me encantaría ver esto, pero me encantaría. Si pudiera yo ver esto, oportunidad de comprar Google en los 140, 150 dólares, no 140, porque 140 está aquí, 150, 160 dólares, estaría rico. Y eso nos daría un hombro, cabeza, hombro invertido con un objetivo de... Todavía me estoy mega adelantando, apenas tocó esto, no ha caído, así que me estoy adelantando. Digamos que rompe la siguiente vela acá. No, vamos a ir conservadoramente y ponerlo ahí. Nos debería llevar a los 255, eso tendría sentido. Y también esto, el formar el otro hombro, daría razón al corto que está hablando Alex en este momento en Google. Vamos a ver con el HPDR, denme un segundo. ¿Qué pasó? Me llevó a la de 2 semanas. Déjenme ver la trimestral rápido. También estamos por encima de nuestro promedio del 9. Nuestro promedio del 9 está en los 164. Más o menos por ahí sería la zona de oportunidad. Aunque 155, por favor, Google, no seas tacaño. Dale al tío Salo más dinero. Por ahora estamos por encima de la media. La media está en los 191 en la trimestral. Y eso nos debería de dar un impulso a hacer altos históricos en los 211. De poder romper los 211, 238 sería el siguiente objetivo y podemos empezar a ver por qué tiene ese objetivo el hombro, cabeza, hombro. Vamos a la mensual. Tenemos en la mensual volatilidad empezando a expandir. Expandió el mes pasado y ahora esto sería nuestra continuación acá. Esta es la vela que ya confirmó expansión y es a la alza. De poder continuar, porque viene del punto más bajo desde básicamente el 2020 con esta expansión, esto nos debería llevar a la parte alta del 38.2%, que está en 250. Y de poder romper esos 250, 266 sería el siguiente objetivo en Google. De tener este rechazo, ¿qué número le gusta a Google? 78. No, Google sí le gusta caer hasta el 97, 95%. Más o menos por acá en los 150 podríamos encontrar tal vez esa oportunidad, los que estamos esperando con ansias. Volatilidad está contrayendo, aunque está apuntando para arriba y quiere darse la vuelta, pero por ahora la contamos como contrayendo en la de 2 semanas. En la de 2 semanas estamos ya en el 88.3%. Esto agrega un poco a la tesis de Alex de que esto podría ser una negada de esta zona y de ahí te podría llevar a la parte alta de la zona azul, que es donde está también el 21 y el promedio del 9 en la de 2 semanas. Y aparte la parte alta de la zona azul que ya he mencionado, por ahí de los 175 dólares. ¿Eso qué tanto es un drawdown de cuánto? También Google se mueve muy lento, pero espero que Google tenga su momento meta. Será un 10%, nada mal. Semanal, igual. Estamos en el 88.3% en este momento. Nuestro objetivo es en los 199, siempre y cuando no caigamos de los 192, 91. Si perdemos los 192, 91, muy probablemente vayamos primero al promedio del 9 en los 182 y de ahí a la parte alta de la zona azul en los 179. Me gusta esta confluencia de la media con el 55 en el 170, pero es porque quiero meterle lana a esta cosa y por eso tal vez lo estoy viendo así. Diaria. La diaria, estamos retomando la zona azul, ya pasamos la media está en los 193.66 y eso nos da un objetivo de la línea meme en diagonal que viene para abajo en los 197. De no rechazar y dar continuación, esto nos debería llevar a los 200 y de los 200, pues más para arriba, damas y caballeros. Eso nos pondría ya en modo alcista si es que aguanta y no es un SFP aquí a la alza. Bastante sencillo, yo lo vería en la semanal. Quitaría el HPDR. Era la de 2 semanas. No, semanal. Semanal. Básicamente, quieres aguantar arriba de los 192 dólares. De poder aguantar encima de los 92 dólares, esto es lo que nos lleva a máximos históricos. De perder los 192 dólares, tienes una más alta probabilidad de venir a la parte de esta línea meme. Primer objetivo serían los 182 Y segundo objetivo lo puedes hacer los 177 y tercero los 169. Nice. De romper esta zona y treparte acá y empezar a consolidar, eso sería el escenario más alcista y de ahí podríamos continuar esos $250, que sería un ¿qué? ¿25%? ¿Cuánto sería ese movimiento a los $250? Denme un segundo. $30. Ok. Antes de poder hacer eso, yo creo que se va a presentar otra oportunidad. Tiene cara de. Tenemos justamente esta zona de rechazo. Pum, pum, pum. Y nos gustaría ver un bajo más alto que el pasado. El bajo más alto fue acá en los 140. Por ende, si llegamos acá y hacemos esto, estamos haciendo un hombro, cabeza, hombro, y esto reventaría la alza. Llegar a los 148, $150 es el regalo más grande del mundo y no rompería esta estructura. Continuaría siendo alcista. Ahora, ¿dónde estamos mal? Llévate este mínimo en los 140 para abajo, porque también es donde está tu SMA 200. Ahí ya empezaríamos a buscar objetivos más abajo y probablemente los 122 estarían en juego. Por ahora no hay nada que nos diga que ese vaya a ser el caso. Continúa siendo alcista, por más que haya hecho ese bajo más bajo. Bueno, en realidad es dudable. Depende cómo lo veas. Si lo ves de acuerdo a lo que dice el librito, este es un alto, un bajo más bajo que el pasado y ahora es un alto más bajo que el pasado. Así que vamos a tener que poner bastante atención por acá, mis estimados, para ver qué es lo que pasa con Google. En un segundo prendo la camarilla para ponerme aquí, para que me vean, tíos. Y ahí lo tienen. Ahí lo tienen, así de fácil, damas y caballeros, para poder hacer esto sin problema alguno. ¡Oh, qué bonita se ve mi tabla! Vela, vela nada más, chula. Chula la hija de puta. Estoy perdiendo la cabeza, por supuesto. Ahí lo tienen, bastante sencillo, buen rebote del mercado. Les dije el viernes y todos tus pacos favoritos te están diciendo el mercado laboral, el principio de la recesión. Se acabó todo. Encontramos el gran rebote en el mercado que estábamos buscando. Habíamos analizado esto. En putiza vamos a dárselos, ¿cómo de que no? Les había dicho, el VIX, damas y caballeros, se había quedado acá y tuvo ese rechazo. Bien, el dólar está creando estructura alcista poco a poco. Tienes hombro, cabeza y la siguiente bajada debería darnos el impulso a la alza. Esto debería ser bajista cuando el dólar, y ahí se los pongo bastante fácil, una vez que el dólar rompa los 102 puntos, 102.57 y empieza a cerrar por ahí encima, se va a ir a altos históricos. Otra cosa que estoy volteando a ver también son mis deliciosos bonos. Bonos, rendimiento de los bonos. Una vez que esto se pierda, vamos a ir a los al 3.15% en intereses. La cosa de entender con esto va a tomar mucho tiempo. Y ese sería el peor escenario. Lo mejor que le puede pasar a la economía es que pase algo inexplicado como estilo Black Swan. Y de nuevo, no tiene que ver con encerrarlos, o no puede ser un problema de deuda, un problema de liquidez, etcétera. Y eso nos podría dar el ajuste, impresión y vamos para arriba. Pero si simplemente continuamos poco a poco, bajando, eso va a ser la zona más dolorosa para todos. Semanal, vimos también nuestra deuda, güey, de hace un año, literalmente en marzo del 2022, en el principio del mercado bajista, que fue esto, literalmente llevarnos el promedio del 100 en enero del 2022. Una vez que nos los llevamos con tesorería a corto plazo, este es un bono, esto es tesorería un año, esto es un T-bill, ¿ok? Una vez que nos llevamos esta zona de los 0.392 en la de un año, vean el movimiento que tuvo. Topamos acá con una vela clásica estándar de tope y de ahí hemos hecho altos más bajos en lo que se refiere a los bonos de un año. Una vez que nos llevemos el 3.691, nice, vamos a ir a los 2.98. Importantísimo entender esto. Esto fue lo que nos llevó a que los intereses subieran, bla, bla, bla. Esto que está dándose para abajo, por más, esto fue de aquí hasta acá, hasta acá. Todo este camino fue bajista para la bolsa. Todo este camino de lado en lo que han estado bajando ha sido alcista para la bolsa. Si esto continúa cayendo, en teoría debería ser alcista para la bolsa a menos de que caigamos en una recesión y simplemente esto sea, bueno, que caigamos en una recesión oficial y esto sea literalmente el camino que va a continuar. Déjenme ver el HBR en esto en la semanal. Justo estamos el 50%, el 95% es justo mi línea meme. Interesante. Entonces voy a estar también al pendiente de mi tesorería de un año. Voy a también poner atención a el peso contra el dólar, porque una vez que el peso contra el dólar rompa los 19.05 por dólar, esto se va a ir para arriba como loco. Y el yen, pueden ver, no hemos pasado mi línea amarilla acá en los 148.50. No tenemos esos cierres. No los tenemos en la semanal y es lo que yo estoy buscando. Cierres por encima de esta línea y no los hemos tenido. Aquí todo el mundo se puso nervioso, pero no cerró. Por eso es importante ver cierres. Una vez que el yen esté por encima de esto, a correr del 148, 852. Eso sería negativo para la bolsa. También el que el dólar pase al peso por acá en los 19.06, eso es negativo para la bolsa. Que el euro, habíamos dicho, el tope de acá, es justamente lo que les habíamos contado y que esto era un SFP. El euro regresando y cayendo, perdiendo esto en los 1.13, empieza a ponerse todo en una situación bastante culebra. Y la libra, seguimos esperando estos movimientos. Tal vez esto ya se está dando acá, pero vamos a ver. Ya lo tienen. Honestamente, bastante fácil. La volatilidad en el mercado, esto nos debería de permitir seguir subiendo en la bolsa. Y, de nuevo, las señales negativas están conteniéndose. Todavía no tenemos esa disparada del dólar contra el peso, el dólar contra el euro, el dólar contra el yen. Todavía no lo estamos viendo. Una vez que veamos eso, a correr. Por ahora, esto debería ser alcista para la bolsa. Cripto ya hizo tope, es lo que platicamos en la mañana, sencillamente. Estamos literalmente en una estructura muy alcista y lo único que estamos buscando en cripto, si queremos ser alcista, es llevarnos. ¿Dónde estaban mis líneas esas? Aquí. Déjenme lo pongo en la diaria y me acerco. Era este el rango. Faltaba otro, ¿no? ¿Lo hice en el índice? Sí, aquí está. Lo que estamos buscando en Bitcoin, si somos alcistas, es poder romper esta línea en los 117. Si podemos romper esta línea en los 117, podemos decir que vamos a los 110, casi 120, y de 120 podremos hablar ya de altos históricos. De tener un rechazo en esta zona en los 116 o hasta los 117 o hasta los 116, 100, 116, 300 sería negativo y eso podría tal vez llevarnos a un nuevo mínimo local. ¿Okay? No es el fin del mundo para nadie, pero tenemos que poner atención a eso. Si Bitcoin se da la vuelta y empieza a caer en la señal más sencilla de ver que todo se fue a la mierda, y ahora, para esto es, si estás en cripto solamente, estás ya en la mierda, porque si esto se llega a doblar y va para abajo, y una vez más, la zona a romper son los 111. Rompe 111 para abajo, vamos a ir mucho más abajo, pero rompes los 107 para abajo, se acabó el ciclo, bueno, se acabó el tope local, está encontrado y podemos ir para abajo y descansar por un año o lo que sea, si es que se llega a dar. Pero a lo que quiero llegar es, si Bitcoin continúa esto para abajo y ves que la bolsa del otro lado, el SP500, continúa yendo para arriba, van a salir una vez más todos tus amigos los pacos a decirte que hay una divergencia de precio entre estas cosas y la chingada. Y, güey, Bitcoin está actuando separadamente de la bolsa. No es cierto. Bitcoin va adelante 40 días. Yo esperaría, de acuerdo al tope en los 123 que les acabo de enseñar, esto ocurrió el 14 de julio. 40 días después es la primera semana de septiembre. Si eso llega a pasar, ese debería ser más o menos el tope del mercado, de la bolsa final, antes de darnos ese descansón. Pero si eso llegara a pasar, Bitcoin ya estaría muy por debajo de los 106,000, 107,000 dólares. Esa sería tu confirmación para entender si ya se cocinó todo. Si ves Bitcoin abajo de 107, tienes acciones, ya sabes qué hacer. No puede ser más fácil ponerlo esto enfrente de todos ustedes. Y espero que esto les sirva de algo. Espero que esto les sirva para hacer un mejor análisis que para que puedan sacarle toda la lana al mercado y pues continuar haciendo o buenos trades o buenas inversiones, porque invertir a largo plazo siempre es lo mejor y descansar, no jugarle al Don Vergas. Esto de trading es más divertido simplemente en corto plazo y pues para jugar al casino, ¿no? No vas a apostar en deportes o si apuestas en deportes, ¿por qué no agregar algo más a tu portafolio? Y eso es todo, damas y caballeros. Muchísimas gracias por acompañarme en el casino del tío Salo. Les mando un fuerte abrazo a todos. Déjenme rápido, veo algo que había puesto Ramón. Salo, creo que varios estamos esperando que Google detone con la inteligencia artificial. Antes de poder comprar a largo plazo, ¿nos avisarás? No sé si estaba pensando si iba a ser un portafolio y hablarlo públicamente con todo el mundo y la chinga, pero no creo que tenga suficiente valor para mí hacerlo, honestamente. No vale la pena. Para mí, yo creo que no lo voy a tocar. Y ahí nunca les voy a decir en qué invertir a largo plazo y qué no invertir a largo plazo. Ahí hay mucha gente que hace esos videos, que son muy buenos haciendo lo que hacen. Lo que menos necesitan es al pendejo de mí diciéndoles qué hacer. Les mando un... Y recuerden, yo solamente estoy traduciendo lo que nos están diciendo Alex y Farhan y después también les doy mis pensamientos idiotas, pero los separo para que sepan cuáles son mis pensamientos idiotas. Les mando un abrazo, cuídense mucho, pórtense bien. Nos vemos en la próxima. ¿Cómo de que no, tíos? ¿Cómo de que no?